and that would be good. We've got some units on board right now on AAPL. We've got about 3 units. So let's see if we get a little bit lower. We do get our TQQ short, so we're going to be rolling that one. We're 2 minutes over. You owe me, Sharif. All right. Good job there today. Let's go, man. I got to get over there, do some laps, hopefully come back and see Apple in around 2:10. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Ciao.
Oh, there's Donald.
Ciao, Dano.
He's on the screen, Katina, man. Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. This guy's printing up a storm. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy, Joey Options, who is not Mr. Shivers today, as you can tell by the short sleeves. I'm taking over today, Mr. Shivers.
Oh, yeah, you got the long sleeve on. That's a,
yes, sir.
That's an anomaly.
I know, right? All right, let's shout out everybody. Who's here? We got Markin R. We got Miggy Mog Mo. We got Lee Dye, we got GTT, we got Juan Padilla, Buster Stacks, I like that. Cisco, NFL Fantasy Live News. What were you doing with that username, my friend? Ezekiel, Da Prophet, a proper dang paradox. One of my favorite names in the chat. We got Sage Mike, the Roaring Griffin, and it wouldn't be a day without my main man, Blue Arrow. Shout out to Dinkelberg as well. Dallas Nelk. The Nelk boy.
Ooh, the Nelk.
Yeah, there you go. We got Tab TV Gaming, JD McNick 975 Just Living. We got Yusuf. We got 1320 Wolf. We got Alicia, Sage Might. Who else? Timmons Lacrosse. We got Ken, Beginner Trader. He's letting you know, Joseph, so you don't, come down hard on him. He's a beginner trader. Kurt D. Live, Love, and Sail. I like that one. Jarhead Trader. Ricky G. We got, who else, man? The OG, Jay Lee, Elon Musk. We got Emma, Jarhead Trader. Andrew Chow. Sorry, Katina, man. I had to, brother. Yeah, you can't see a name like that without doing it properly. We got Pete Rock, Clipboard. Abu Aman Khan, Bill R, Sixto V. We got Gus. We got Sam Lucic. We got Servi Mia, Vinay Menon. A couple more here, Joseph. Ashraf Jamal and Christopher. I'm not going to try to say your last name because I don't want to butcher it. Hello, Christopher. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday. I don't know if you've seen the weather outside, my boy, but it is a very, very good one today.
Yeah, you can tarp off later on.
Get it, Joe.
Later on this evening, my guy went to get outside to that workout gym. Folks, all right, let's go over our trades this morning, and you're going to see something that isn't usually your boy, right? Like, this is quite a mess here. You'd be like, Joe, what do you have going on here? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I was just like, yo, boom,
swinging.
Trying to bury bonds on this out here, but it's all right. It didn't work out. So you can see I got really aggressive right here, stopped out, tried it again, stopped out. Tried it for a third time, stopped out, but then I punched heavier than everything right here, and I got some partials, but then rejected the volume weighted average price, and then I got stopped out break even, tried it again. And I'm like, all right, no, this isn't going to work. But if I held this position a little bit longer, then I was good. But I was telling Sharif, I punched heavy, and I literally got filled on 10% of the size that I punched. And I punch out again. I'm like, no way. But yeah, it is what it is there, guys. Just churning shares on TSLA. But what we got here, and by the way, like I was really, really close to being shut down, full disclosure, because just the amount of size I was using. But then let's see what we got going on here. Why does it always do that to me?
It's embarrassing, bro. Embarrassing me.
Stop embarrassing. Yeah, I know.
Assassino's coming hard for you these days, eh? Get him, Assassino.
Yeah, that's how it is. But guys, then we just cook up here in FL, Foot Locker. And I'm like, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this thing isn't the best intraday trader. It was tough sitting through this. So here, I entered and then I just cut my position, but then I just punched really heavy right there, a single entry, and I'm like, all right, let me take a walk, put a stop in and see what's going on. And then we cooked this up, guys. So coming from the depths itself, like the Immortals from 300 coming from the depths. I don't know if you have to have seen 300, Sharif. No?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, all right. So there we go. The Immortals reference there. I love them, but coming from the depths itself.
But they weren't very immortal though, were they?
No, they weren't. No, not when they run into the Spartans. There's no way. But yeah, here we go. Entry there, guys, and then we just slowly start taking it out. I got 6% of the position left. If we decide to crack this trend, I'll just hop out and just lock in whatever gains I have. have on that, but we're back. We're live now. I missed a trade on iBit, which is slightly frustrating, but that's okay. We'll find another opportunity here. I think there's going to be plenty throughout the day. It's just patience is going to be the name of the game once again here, guys. But this 5-minute signal, I was like, oh, I'm not going to take it right now because of what I was managing with Foot Locker. But that was that print here, that 5-minute print. It gave you the opportunity to get that move back towards the volume-weighted average price. But you can still see that primary trend is still to the downside, and we're rejecting it on multiple occasions. So going to be cautious, going to be patient. Let's see if Tesla can get the ball rolling. You can see that it's been a choppy mess in the overall market, but I think at some point we will find a direction, and I'm going to be patient and wait because it's my job to do so, and I'm going to look to join the direction that when we finally decide to break out of this range.
Well said, man. Very well said there. Here's what we're looking at, guys, in terms of small cap cappers. Look, you know, I would say this is a second day where I'm not very pleased with the selection, but we're gonna give this one the old college try. So let's talk about what we've got on right now. We've got one breaking down below VWAP, GRYP. This one is quickly becoming untradeable. Top left corner of your screen, so gonna keep an eye on that. KDLY though, just gave you a money fill. I didn't have eyes on that one. This one did bottom wick into that 1060 area, and now it's going up into 1120. Well, what's 1060 at? Well, it's a couple of pennies ahead of that volume weighted average price. So you get that big boy, 12.5 touch. It dumps all the way, well, almost to 10.5. So giving back, I should say, $2. But here we go. This is a kind of an intra-candle trade because we still haven't cleared the high of the previous candle. We do that when we clear 11.5. All right, so the trades I'm involved in right now are KIDZ. Hopefully I won't make any more gaffes with the ticker kids, but I do not promise you that because sometimes we get excited when we're taking these prints and the words, it just doesn't work with the ticker. So you guys get it, all right? SATL as well involved in that one, looking for a move. Both of these are the same trade, not the same trade, but the reasons to enter them are the same. The move here into the volume weighted average price after making a high of the day is the same on KIDZ and SATL, both on the top right of your screen there. I've also got AEVA. I perceive this one to be the best of the bunch. Now, it had some bamboozlement. What is that bamboozlement, you ask? That 930 pop, we get a bull flag looking pattern. But where you would expect an area to come in as a support, AKA the volume weighted average price, doesn't act like that. In fact, it looks more like a line of best fit at the moment. So it's a little bit above VWAP, a little bit below. So I will likely not base any of my entries or my exits on AEVA on VWAP because it's shown you its intention and its propensity not to use it as either support or resistance. So why base anything off it? So that's my thinking. I happen to like the stock, so we're going to have to basically use some other technical moves to get into this one. VSAT, another very respectful one to this one of the 10 EMA. Again, it's not that big of a move. We're talking sub 10% here, 9.13. Coming into the 10 EMA, it hasn't actually touched that 10 EMA since, right at the opening bell at 9:30. Last but not least, we've got CONI over here. I know Adara's got a banger on CONL. I'm sure she'll talk about that during Happening Now. But CONI, this one is coming into the volume weighted average price. I like this 635 area here on CONI. Couple of reasons. One, it's VWAP. Number two, look at that price action spike resistance right at that 940 candle. It rejects, drops down to 620, then ends up clearing it. If it acted as resistance once, technical analysis tells us that it may act as support once cleared. Not a hard and fast rule, but something to be aware of. So that's what I'm looking at right now. We're going to do it live for you guys over here, and we're going to see if we can extract some printages. And we're printing up a storm, Joseph, here on KIDZ. Oh, baby.
Oh, let's go.
All right, so let's take out some profits on. No, I don't want to take it there. Cancel it. Thank you. So I'm going to wait here at 10s, or 9s, excuse me, for my friend KIDZ. Let me just make sure that I've got some shares on with this one because we don't want to take out too much too quickly. No, we're good. So let's throw it there, and then we're going to throw it there. Let's put the beak wetters. Throw your beak wetters, people. You don't know if the price action spike's going to come. So that's what I'm looking at right now. How's our SATL doing? We got one print. So far, not the biggest move off the volume weighted average price on SATL, but a bounce nonetheless. don't get jammed, guys. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. So anyway, so keeping my look at 463, then the next peak weather 465. Hold on, man.
Oh,
We're printing up a storm, Fabian. Shout out to the Chilean Nightmare. I appreciate that, Fabian. I'm kind of slow, brother, so you're just gonna, you're gonna have to put up with me, Fabian. I don't get these jokes because I'm 100. So we're gonna keep an eye on SATL. Now, AEVA is breaking out, Joseph. AEVA is breaking out. Here comes $18. Now this one, it's a little spready. About 95 on the ask, about 82 on the bid. Here comes 18. We could get a break of 18 right now, 25% in the green. We'll talk more about this once we get back from Madeira.
CRM Salesforce, the information reporting that there would be Salesforce set to acquire a AI agent startup called Convergence. So again, CRM and watch your potential acquisition of this AI agents startup. That is, of course, just a report. Nothing is confirmed. And back to the Bash Brothers.
Thank you, Adair.
Thank you. Yeah, guys, let's pull up the old screen here. Let's see what we got going on that. Yeah, there we go. That's the right one, Assassino. But yeah, guys, we're still cooking up 5% left of this position. Let's see if we can put in this grind here today. Up 84% here is Foot Locker. And to be honest with you guys, I don't love trading this name, but we got earnings potential buyout as well, too. I think Sharif was telling me $24, I think, per shares.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's a time where you can just start churning shares. So, yeah, let's see what we got on this one. We're going to hold on to this probably for the remainder of the day, but we'll pack our patience. I'm looking for something else here, right? It's going to be a grind. The Qs are traveling higher, so that's a positive sign here. We kind of broke out of that earlier in the day consolidation zone, and now continuing to climb. I like seeing that, filling up the gap here. Let's see if NVDA can get the ball rolling. See, that's the thing. So Nima in the chat was saying, Joe, Tesla long, I don't know about that right now. So yeah, again, just got to be patient to wait and see. I would like to take it one more time, to be honest with you, but what it's displaying to me, one more time, isn't the best. So I need that volume really to step in here, and in order for me to look to participate on that front. Clark Kent, good seeing you in the chat. Street Speak is swimming freestyle. Yeah, exactly. He's always winning the beak. And hey, I don't know if you've seen my messages from the other day, Clark Kent. I know so I said something like someone in the chat were talking, and I was like, yeah, a month of like tough trading is soft, right? Like in the grand scheme of things, it's soft. And Clark Kent said to me, and by all means, it's just a conversation. You said, Joe, you got to realize that not all of us are trading prop money. But what I said to Clark Kent was, dude, I didn't start here, right? Like I was trading on my own. Yeah, exactly. I was trading on my own for years before I got here. And I've told you guys the story of when I was just on a roll for about 3 months, and then in a span of 2 days, I gave all that 3 months profits back, and then I was in a slump for an additional month to 2 months after that. So like I've been through it all, you know what I mean? So I shouldn't say I've been through it all, but I've seen a lot. And I didn't mean it by any like negative way. It is soft, and the way to keep yourself in the game is risk measures, stop losses, and just having that max loss on a daily. I had that 1 to 2% loss, even though I did exceed it a couple times, but if you stick for it 99% of the time, 1 to 2% every day, if you lose that, that keeps you in the game for long enough until you start to gain your ground there.
I know, I happen to agree completely with that, brother.
Yeah.
Let me also chime in a little bit here, guys.
Absolutely.
Everybody reacts early in your career before you have, if you don't have that natural emotional control in high stress situations, I'm not saying it can't be developed. I think it can be, but I think you're probably going to reach a max level. So here's what I mean. Like initially when I would trade, I'd be trading at home. You know, there was really no oversight. I was responsible for everything. It was my money. I was in my condo. There was nobody to tell me what my shutdown was. Nobody tell me anything. So, you know, the emotional reactions, I didn't know that was sort of out of bounds or not good for, you know, the trading psychology and to keep everything kind of afloat. And so you kind of learn from your mistakes as you go. And I think it's entirely normal to make those mistakes and to be okay with making those mistakes as long as you are able to reflect objectively. and to say to yourself, you know, maybe this wasn't the right idea. And the only way to do that is to actually be able to go through the hard times in your mind. You have to be willing to relive them again, even though they hurt emotionally, whether because you lost money or you missed out on a big trade. If you don't confront those feelings that make you uncomfortable, you're not going to grow.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, I mean, by all means, like, ride the roller coaster, because that's what trading is. And then it's very few come out on the other end, because Jose and I were talking about this as well. It's just the loss after loss after loss after loss. But then once you've gone through that phase and you have the ability to be like, oh, okay, it's just another loss. I can put on another trade maybe tomorrow, the next day, or whatever it may be, and make that back, or even a little bit more, or even gain some half decent ground. So that's it. It's totally a mental game. We're never going to beat around that bush. But again, it's you versus you at the end of the day. Make sure you have those risk measures in place, and you can stay in this game long enough for you to come on the other side of that learning curve. And I was talking to somebody on X who was messaging me. I said, hey, the one thing that was big for me about trading is that my expectations were slightly unrealistic, because you've seen all these guys. I know you like them, Tim Sykes, and some other people that were my mentors. It's like $20,000 a day, $30,000
Ross
a day.
Cameron,
right? Like
$100,000
a day, $250,000 a day. And for me, it's like, okay, well, I can't even scratch together a $200 day here.
It is frustrating. You feel like,
right?
am I any less?
Yeah,
like, why?
No,
you know, like,
but they've been through the ringer, and it's just taking it to that next step. So you got to survive that learning curve, and that's the thing about trading. The learning curve is extremely long, and I'm talking about 3 years, for some people 4 years, 2 to 3, 4 years, even some people 5 years, but just keep at it. It's not about the end game. You're going to get knocked down. Just keep getting up and be one of those 1% individuals. So every time you get knocked down, you just get right back up after Shreve. Screen, please. Bang. Let's go Foot
I want to
Locker.
read something Dara put in the chat as well, because she was learning to trade in front of all of us, and I think this is a very important comment. She wrote, it's very different, and she capitalized very, when you learn to trade on camera. I happen to agree with that. I feel very lucky that I had the opportunity, but I feel like I didn't learn emotional control in trading until much later. Adara, I happen to echo that sentiment completely. I think your journey and mine were a little different. I didn't learn emotional control till later as a result of necessity. So that's kind of the situation. And I think everybody's journey is going to be a little different.
That's good. The emotional control is at least a 1 to 2 year journey for you to just come to the conclusion like, oh, okay, yeah, I lost. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I won.
Everybody's you know, like, you can get your emotions a lot quicker than mine. Adara gets it quicker than both of us. You know what I mean? Whatever it is.
Yeah, you've seen me tilt out real quick, but then I'm just like, boom, all right, refocus, it's over, back to it, bang.
That's it. Yeah, you move on.
But when you first start out, it may take a day or two, right? So don't get that twisted. No. But this is what we're here for, guys. If you have any questions on the psychology aspect, yeah, I mean, because I'm red right now. I told you guys this earlier. I was pushing shares on Tesla, but we're just slowly climbing back, and I'm waiting for that next opportunity to take advantage of here.
Well said, Joseph. All right, we're taking prints here on SATL. Just got the print there at 69er. So needless to say, I'm quite pleased. So now I'm waiting at 76 SATL. It's not a big mover. It's not, and the volume is declining. So those things I don't like about it, flat out. What I did like about it was the respect for the volume weighted average price. Now that's typically a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I'm looking long VWAP. Joseph's looking long VWAP. Neil's got 1 million shares waiting at VWAP. The whole point is we're all looking at VWAP, so it ends up being support. It's not support because it is support. It's support because everybody's looking at it, right? So SATL holding there. Now, we're involved as well in my friend we're trading KIDZ. And we just got the print there at 10s. It is moving back down into 1s. So I've got a few more outs here on KIDZ, but I'm displeased with the level at 10. And this has been a rinse and repeat area of resistance at $3.10. Once, twice, Obi frickin' thrice. He'll be here tomorrow, by the way, guys. I got the day off tomorrow, so your boy Ob in the house. No, but seriously, though, it keeps coming into that $3.10 area and rejecting. That displeases me. So that's the bad side of the equation. What's the good side? Well, as I mentioned earlier, the respect for the volume weighted average price. In addition to that, until right now, we were getting higher lows. This current candle right now on the 5 minute is the first one to actually put in a lower high, or sorry, excuse me, a lower low since basically, let's see over here, the candle at 1050. So we are coming back down. I've got 92s on this one. It's showing me 96. Anything below 90, it's all over, okay? Why? Well, 90 is the volume weighted average price. And so unless somebody's buying it up there, I'm not going to be dollar cost averaging below that level. So that's my look there. Now, our friend asked as well, Joseph asked, and I don't want anyone to get it twisted. There's a T at the end there. Is also moving up, and it seems to have support over and over for the 10 EMA on the 5. Neil's looking over. He's like, yeah, no. This is ASST, Neil.
How do you?
So this one coming into 6, finding support. The bottom of this candle right here, y'all can't see it, but let me bring it in. This is the 10 EMA. Let's zoom in. Comes right into that 10 EMA, finds a bid. Alas, we still have 3 candles in a row with lower lows and lower highs. So if I was to get in here, a breach of the 10 ends my trade. Now, I'll be more than happy to add to the trade should we make a new 5-minute candle and make a new high. Well, current candle, we got to get above 630 for that. So we'll pack our patience here. I'm going to go long on ASST. I'm going baby shares until we can, until proven otherwise. Now, I'm going to dollar cost average into 588. So let's go ahead and add right there. It just comes into 588, doesn't give me the fill. So we'll have to wait, okay? And see if we can get there. And then I'll wait at 590 as well. So we'll look to take some more shares here on our friend ASST if it does hold that level. So let's go ahead and throw in the stop and see if we can extract some profitability on this monster or if it's going to rinse us. So there we go. That's what we got. Let's see if this area holds. So we've got, what do we got? 96s on now. So let's throw on some orders up here. Let's see if we can extract some profitability if this area does hold. No, we already got stopped out, Joseph. It broke my level. No, but I still like it. No, I'm getting back in. I'm still getting back in. I'm getting it back in. All right, we're getting back in, baby. Let's do it. We're doing it live here. Let's go.
Why does everyone think it's my birthday today, though?
Because people are saying that in the chat. It's like a thing on the show. They used to do it to Luca all the time.
Oh,
They'd say happy birthday, Luca, and like it wasn't his birthday.
Really right.
I don't know what the hell's going on. All right, so we got 87s on Joseph. So we're gonna wait here at 95s and layer the orders to see if we can extract some profitability. What do you got, my man?
Okay, yeah. I'm still, the positions board is slightly wrong, guys. I am in Foot Locker. I don't know why it's not displaying that I'm not. I've been doing transactions throughout the show, so maybe we'll get that sorted out. I'm back into some TSLA, no idea why, but it is what it is. I like what Sharif was telling me. He's like, there's a method behind my madness, and I'd like to think so sometimes. So yeah, that's the name of the game here. Qs are absolutely running, and Tesla's not participating. We do have a primary downtrend that I need to focus on, but I like this might be a potential short signal as well too. As you can see, we just barely breached those pre-market highs, and that's going to be yesterday's highs as well too. So a nice rejection of that level. All right, so maybe we'll just go with it. Today is my birthday, 33 years young, yay.
What's happening?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're just going with it,
Just going with it, yeah, as well, man. So everybody wish me a happy birthday, because it is not my birthday. But yeah, guys, you can see this. So if we can sit on the backside of this here, then I think we'll be okay. But you can see that downtrend. So if we continuously reject it, then maybe I'll just hop out. Again, I'm starting really small on this. I don't want to, because I climbed out and I had all my losses throughout the today's session have been on Tesla. So I'm just asking myself, why am I looking for a long on this as we continue to pull back here? And the market does as well too. Oh, okay, yeah, I like this. Okay, I'm gonna hop out of Tesla and just realize whatever small loss this may be. And I'm gonna hop short the Qs here, guys, because I like that a lot off of that topping signal. So I'm gonna go I'm gonna go SQQQ long. For this short, I like this. Okay, we're going to start really small. If it starts working out and we're making that move back towards the volume weighted average price, then we're going to be adding aggressively into this position here, guys. So yeah, let's go Netflix. Okay, there we go. So Foot Locker is on there correctly. And now I am long SQQQs there, guys. I'll pull it up momentarily. One thing is I always have to switch over from markets. So here we are, SQs long off of this specific signal here on the Qs. There we go. We're getting a nice little move right there. Nice topping tail signal. Gravestone, doji, shooting star, whatever you would like to call it. But that is going to be for the move back into the top of this range or the volume weighted average price. But let's see what Adair's up to, guys.
Here's TOST. Just be aware, this CNBC released a premium article. Josh Brown of Ritholtz Wealth Management saying that TOST is one of his top software plays or top plays in general here. So TOST, this came at around 11:15, got a little bit of a push, and maybe keep an eye on it throughout the day because we know usually around 12:30 he'll actually say his buys on the show itself. We got a little bit of a preview here with the CNBC piece, so keep an eye on the stock. Maybe an hour from now, sometimes there is a second move in these Josh Brown plays. Back to you.
Yes, shout out to Josh.
Yeah, shout out to JB, man.
Brenda was telling me a little bit about what the gang on Compound was talking about. They were giving some really interesting data about the speed, Joseph, with which we recovered from those lows, those April lows.
Yeah.
He was saying the only other 2 times we got up that fast, Black Monday and Neil, was it 87? 87, something like that. So 82. Thank you, Brendo. Oh, so the year I was born.
Ooh, bang. There you go.
So 82,
Yep.
the Black Monday from 82, as well as 2001. I'm assuming the dot-com bubble or subsequent to the dot-com bubble.
Recovered that.
So yeah, interesting stuff there that we recovered that quickly. So keep an eye out on that.
I like to see it. I just get.
I'm not going to complain
at all. Not whatsoever.
I ain't complaining, baby.
Yeah, that's it, Sharif. I'm still sitting in this TQ.
What are you doing over there?
If it breaks the lows here on the SQQs, then I'll just hop out of the trade. But I'm looking for that move back towards VWAP.
All right, guys, we're doing it live up in this. You know what? On ASST, we're long 76s. Just wet the beak up there into 60s. Six ish high 90s. Here we go. Now I've layered the orders. Now this is the umpteenth time that a wick breaches the 10 EMA only to get above it. So when you see that, in my humble submission, the money fills in this particular instance will be, look at this thing go, will be below the 10 EMA. If it happened over here, it wicks below the 10 EMA, find support, did it again right here. So the money fills for something like this are just a smidge below the 10 EMA. That's how I observe that, okay? And we did it with another one yesterday. I forget the name of the ticker. This thing is going, bro. It took all my levels, Joseph. We got 76s on. It just gave me 8s. So let's go ahead now and post at 10. And then we're also going to post, I still got shares on, man. We're going to post at 15. And we're going to post at, 19, Joseph, in case we, encounter some resistance there at the 10 penny level. So good look right now for my very good friend, ASST. I still have these resting orders to defend that 550 level, all have which gone unfilled. You'll see those on your screen. There is the baby blue circles and lines. So that one untriggered, that is. So here we go. We're showing 06s. Can we weasel up into 10s? And then by extension of that, print me to the high side. So that's what we're doing there. SATL is doing well as well. It's putting in that incrementally higher high, higher low situation, coming into that 70 penny area. It's this one that I feel some sort of way about. I'm talking about, I don't really want to trade this name anymore, bro. It's like anything that I say can be used with this KIDZ. I'm just gonna call it KIDZ. I think that'll keep me in
that works out.
Yeah. It's coming back into VWAP, and as I mentioned, anything below the volume weighted average price on this one, I will end it. So let's go ahead and throw that right there, and it just got ended for me, as it just broke the volume weighted average price. So we were put out of our misery. Still profitable on it though. Was able to extract enough profitability. Go ASST. Taking out all my levels again, Joseph. Here we go, baby. We're going up to 19. Show me 19s on the level 2. We didn't get that 19 print. We'll pack our patience. We still have more outs. So let's go ahead and wait at 25s in addition to that 19. Come what frickin' may. Ooh. Let's see if this one wants to go. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live, man. All right, let's go. We're still.
Look at Ozan, bro.
What's he saying?
Happy birthday, Bears versus Bulls.
Yeah,
Ozan, stop spreading propaganda in the chat. Now everybody's going to think it's, unless it really is Bears versus Bulls' birthday. It's not. Derek confirmed it. Ozan, you're messing up the flow.
Yeah, you're messing up the flow, man. We don't want to be wishing people happy birthdays when it's not actually their birthday.
Come on, bro. Come on now.
You know what I mean? We just want to know.
It's
when
not.
Ashley birthday.
Bears versus Bulls confirmed.
No. So there you go. You know what? Everybody say.
It's Joe's only.
It's Joe's. Who said that?
Get it?
Who said that?
Bears versus
No.
Bulls. I never want to call him by his real name, but I do know his real name.
Okay. No, it's Nate.
Gotta keep
It's
it,
Nate's Best Buy's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, Nate Best Buy. So
I
everybody
wonder
say,
where he likes to get his electronics.
Yeah. So tell me, everyone say, hey, happy birthday, Nate's Best Buy. All right. So there we go. Happy birthday.
Oh, here we go.
All right, guys.
Again.
Yeah, here we go. We don't want to get too much into the birthday stuff, man. There's not much to sell. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that.
Oh.
Sharif's printing up a storm, and that's all that matters right now.
Not
But
even, bro.
what's
Thank
that?
you. Thank you, but that's not accurate.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay,
Yeah,
so you're doing all right then.
Yeah,
No? All right, so I mean, it's better than, I'm at half my shutdown, but I was almost shut down on the day, so but we just climbed back in Foot Locker. We're having a good time, man. You can see we're chill, relaxed. We got the Tulum Vibes t-shirt going on, or shirt going on, so this is, this is the official summer wear that we're going to start.
Is that a Joseph pick or a Selena pick?
This is a J-Dub.
That's a J-Dub. There's my guy.
Get out of here.
No Selena.
Get out of here with that, man.
Come on, Joe.
It's all right. But yeah, guys, all fun and games. We always have a blast here on the show, and thank you all for joining us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. That's all we ask for, really.
Censure, Sharif.
What happened?
What does that mean, censure? Censure? What is that, Joseph?
I don't know. I didn't
See that guy with my name, Censure? What does that mean? See, what is that, Adara? Get in here. Yeah.
Greek mythological creature. I believe it's the dude that's got like the face of the human, and then he's got the horse legs. I believe that is a centaur.
The centaur?
I believe.
I like it. Thank you, Adara, for that. Okay. Is that kind of like the Sphinx, where like he's half human, half lion?
No, that's
correct.
Egyptian.
But he is not a Sphinx, and he is also Greek instead of Egyptian.
He's a horse. Okay, cool.
Shout out to
Horse
Egypt.
human. So
A lot of
what about
overlap between
the
those
Minotaur,
cultures,
though?
Okay. I see you there, Joseph.
Yeah, you know.
I'm getting educated today, baby.
What's the horse that has wings?
The unicorn?
P. It starts with a P. Pegasus.
Okay.
All right,
Doesn't a unicorn doesn't have wings?
No, it just has the horn there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. A horn is not bad.
I mean, let's see if we can find one of those around here. What did Adara say? What did Adara say?
The scintillating conversation that we're having.
Great. Yeah, how did it get to this?
It doesn't matter how we got to this.
It doesn't matter how we got to this, man.
Here we go.
Okay,
Guys, gotta
you're
cover
good.
this.
Go cover
We're
it up,
taking
brother.
out levels here, Joseph Wilson. All my orders just got filled on ASST. This one's really going, guys. We're approaching the high of the day. It's a 640 high a day. I'm all done my shareage on this one, but I'm quite pleased with how I traded it. We got in at the money fill, I want to say, so to speak. I was negative on it, 0 for 2, 1 for 3 on ASST, but guess what? I'm positive. So good for me.
Oh, nice trade
That's
on-
okay.
nice trade on
I
that
started
one.
0 for 2 on it though, bro.
That's what happened.
I literally did start 0 for 2 on it, but we took more shares down here, and so yeah, we're positive on it now. And here's the deal, guys. This thing takes out 640. It's a breakout trade. Okay, it's up 33%. Here's the information. Sorry, Joseph. Just 1 second.
No, go ahead.
Here's the information. 12.66 million share float. Not much of a short float, sadly. 1.79%. And what I'm seeing here on my platform, just to compare it to what Trade Ideas has to say, is for the float, that is, guys. I've got on mine, I've got sub 1 million. So I've got 899,000 share float for ASST. Trade Ideas saying 12.66 million. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now, with respect to the market cap, it is a 90 million market cap. So not the biggest company, but also certainly not the smallest. Trade it carefully. It's doing well so far, but look for that 640 break and take, Joseph.
Yeah, thank you, guys. All right, so yeah, let's see what we can get going here in SQs. It's not working out how we necessarily want to. I believe we're going to have to be more patient on this front, but I showed you guys the signal of essentially what I'm going off here, guys. So if we crack these highs of days, then I'll just get out of the trade and wait for another opportunity. But the more we hover around, I like that we have the potential to kind of break down. But you can see this signal right here. Nice topping tail. Doji, but if we crack and some of the big names get rolling, then we might be in some trouble. But go Bitcoin, that was a missed opportunity, no question. And the thing is, Tesla continuously knocking on this door of breaking this down channel, which isn't too good of a look for my short on the overall market, especially if the likes of the big, as I mentioned before, the big names get rolling. So NVDA still slowly climbing, and then you can just see Tesla sitting on the, we'll pull up on the 1 minute, but we just have this wedge here that's now forming. So need that breakdown in order for this market to kind of drag lower. But you see, we sit on top of that, then you might get that break up if the volume steps in, and that's not going to be good for shorting the market. So, and I mentioned from time and time again, is that if you're going to be trading the TQs or the SQs, you want to pay attention to the big names, in my opinion, to see what they're up to. Because if I'm trying to short the market, but everyone else is trading higher, that's not a good trade. All right, that's just simply not a good trade, and you don't want to be involved in that as Tesla slowly grinds. But if we reject this channel one more time, then maybe we can break some of these key support levels and then head lower again. So until we crack that high on the on the Qs, then I'm in this trade, and I already have my order placed out. If once it starts working and we start heading back towards the volume weighted average price, I'm ready to get significantly more aggressive. So what I'm currently sitting on right here, I'm going to add 200% to that position if it does start to work and we break through some of these levels. So yeah, full disclosure on the TQs. So just going off of this 5-minute signal right here, guys, and I'm prepared once this base is broken, then I'll add to it, and then maybe we can get that move back towards the volume weighted average price there, Sharif.
All right, Joseph. Well, we're back long here. ASST got a beak wetter at, I believe, almost 50. I think it was 58s, 57s. We got 46s. We're break even on it now. I am giving this one a tighter stop, okay? So my thinking here is that 630 level was kind of a bit of an area top. So I'd ideally like it to hold at 630, knowing full well that it's kind of a random area that I'm choosing over here. But we're going to give this one the old college try. I need to keep a tight stop because I can't go negative on it like that. I don't think that that would be good trade management. There we go. So already getting stopped out for a bit of a loss there. Now, here's the deal. The money fills, as I kind of suspected, are around the a little bit below the 10 EMA. So let's see if this ends up being a topping tail. It looks topping tailish right now with a huge upper wick into 57s. Now we're down into 27s. So definitely getting a bit of a sell. Wow, this is losing the bid really quickly over here. So good stop out there. Let's see if it comes down into 6. Like I always say, the topping tail candles are not the end of the matter on these small cap gappers. It is not like trading a large cap with a topping tail. I just don't think they mean the same thing. So I'm going to wait at 6, a little bit in front of 6 to see if we can get some money fills. What's going on?
Tesla's breaking out, Tesla's breaking out here.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting aggressive. I got to cover this here. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, no
TQs, I'm getting, nope, this is not what we want. TSLA. Yeah, so I'm getting slightly aggressive here. You can see that I'm adding to this position as we do end up on the backside of this trend. I need it to really start to get going. If it cracks the volume weighted average price, then I'll get out of this trade. We need the volume on the lower time frame to pick up and confirm this breakout. If it does, then we'll add a little bit more to this as well too, Sharif.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I've got that order at hole 5s waiting. Here we go. 13s now coming down. It's not exactly rocketing down, but then again, I don't really want it to rocket down either because that's going to make me kind of question my idea. Bovin, I see a TYU. You're not the first person to call that out. Another individual. I got to give him credit as well. Urban Trader called out ATYU. I see it's breaking out. It's a big boy percentage winner on the day, about 77, 78%. It's likely going to find its way onto the side chart over here because CONI is breaking down below VWAP, and that no longer interests me. So ATYU is the ticker, ladies and gentlemen. AYTU, excuse me, AYTU. My mistake. So keeping an eye on that one. I'm just trying to decide whether I'm going to get back in here yet. So I'm getting back in. There we go. Let's see if we can extract some profits quick as you like. I'm keeping my dip trade, though, on ASST at exactly the level that I spoke about earlier, and then we're leaving that to cook. So we're going to see what we can get from there. But I've put in ATYU now on the side chart. AYTU. I keep saying it wrong. AYTU. Excuse me, guys. I hope I'm not confusing you. AYTU. Let's just throw that on there. so that I stop saying it incorrectly. Yeah, you're getting a big boy breakout. Now let's have a bit of an analysis here. Okay, so the pre-market level got taken out, Bovin. So everything here is setting up in the right way. The aftermarket high, which essentially shadowed the pre-market high today, telling you that the resistance level was real. Okay, that 220, 225 area, have a look at all those wicks. It's not by accident that they reject there, guys. It just doesn't work that way. So finally, we take out that level. Now we're in the clear, so to speak. Obviously, not fully in the clear. We still have to execute on the trade. But the point is, we've taken out possible bag holders or shorts that have been using that area to keep this one down. And the amount of times that we rejected there kind of has me feeling that people were looking at that. So what's the move here? Well, we could wait for a 225 retracement, maybe even start a position at around 230 with the idea that we can dollar cost average into that level. So that's my thinking right now. We're going to keep an eye on AYTU, see what we can get from there. I'm still nursing my trade on, obviously, ASST. So let's go ahead, AYTU. Let's throw that on there. Is it on the NQ? Yes, it is. Good look. Let's throw an order there. Now we're going to wait around the $0.25. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to front run it, obviously, because if I'm looking at it, other people are looking at it as well. This might be one of those situations where we might just have to punch in near the highs, which I obviously don't like, but that's kind of sometimes what we get. All right, here we go. We're doing it freaking live again on ASST, man. It's taken out all my levels, Joseph. We just got printed to the high side there again, and we don't have that order on the bottom. It wicked into my level. 1 penny off. Come on, bro. You're doing this to me. All right, so we didn't get the ad on ASST. So tough look there. We'll continue to trade with the shares that we have. All right, now let's go back into AYTU. This one doesn't look like it's coming back down. So here's what I'm doing. I'm getting in baby shares. All right, we're going to start off here, baby shares. I'm leaving that order at the $0.25, front running it there for an ad. Ideally, I would like this one to drop down into my level, but you don't get to choose, okay? So here's what we're doing. We're doing it live at 45, and then we're going to layer into that $0.50 level. Come what may from there. Joseph Wilson, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm getting aggressive here on Tesla. This is officially going to be my last attempt. If we don't break out here, then that's it. So again, I'm getting really, really aggressive here, guys. And I think that's just something that I have to do here, right? Because I told you, I mentioned I'm down. If I see something, I got to kind of push those shares, push. So yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. And I mentioned that this is I promise you will not see me. Because the thing is, when I'm mincing, I told you guys before from a data collection standpoint, I know within a couple of entries if my thesis is going to be correct or not. Obviously, with timing, things can be wrong. But I give myself 3 entries, wait for the price action to display. And now I've taken probably about 5 or 6 like complete entries on this, and that's going to be it. If we don't break out, then either it's going to go on without me or my timing is off, and I'll accept the fact, right? So that's it. And I think that's a really big skill to acquire.
I think we have an
I think that's a really big skill to acquire if you're going to get to trading. Wow, but what a recovery here on IBIT, guys. That is a big-time move. What a signal this was.
Sent it to you, Adara.
I don't know why I didn't take it. Okay, let's go Tesla. Let's go Tesla.
Get it, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, let's go, man. Seriously, okay, here we go. We're now cooking up, Sharif. Let's go, break out. So yeah, again, you guys seen the aggression, and I've been trading this name throughout the whole day. Oh, wow, my days. All right, we're going to trim a little bit here. This is exactly what we want to see here, folks. Can we catch that fill? Yeah, there we did.
Catch that fill.
Yeah, we did, man. Let's go. So yeah, we're going to hold on to this. I still have, I only took about, 5% off right there. I'm going to leave the rest for a runner. Let's go 1480s and see if we can come and test that high a day. But Sharif, I got to manage this position.
Absolutely, Joseph.
My guy.
Absolutely. All right, we're in ATYU building the position right now. So did lose the bid. There we go. We got the fill at 26s. Now this is going to have to hold. All right. So the deal is anything below 20, it's all over. All right. And that's the way it is. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and wait down here. Let me just load up my blotter so that I'm jiving with the shares that I've got. All right. So there we go. We throw that in there and come what may. So we got 32s on now with the ad. So let's go ahead and layer orders. So if this does spike up, we're able to extract some profitability. So here's the situation. We're going to keep an eye out on that one. Stuart yelling about, well, not yelling, talking about BMGL. I'm the one that's yelling.
Janet
BMGL.
yelling.
We're going to keep we're going to keep a look on that one. Thank you, Stuart, for that. Up 42%, but we got to send it to Adara now.
I have some updates here. This is actually not an IPO. I want to make that incredibly clear. ARAI, Arrive AI, it's a direct listing. It is incredibly sparsely traded, about 11,000 shares traded so far right now, according to my data here on PPro8. They offer here just under 30 million shares, about 29.9 million shares. Offer amount here of estimate $372 million. But again, a little bit harder to get clear details because this is a direct listing. There are no underwriters. This is for the deal because it's direct listing, but Maxim served as a financial advisor. I'll give you some more details on the company itself. It's actually an autonomous related company here. Autonomous last mile mailboxes is what they do here. They're developing these designed to support delivery drones, deliveries done by robots and drones. So Arrive, an autonomy play looks like here. But again, direct listing, this is not an IPO and very little volume on this, like barely any volume. Back to you.
Yeah, didn't know what the situation was. The chat was talking about it. So it's a DL, guys, not an IPO. And if you don't know what a DL is, a direct listing, just do a quick, chat search or whatever, chat inquiry. There's 3 ways to get to market, guys. Just super quick: IPO, direct listings, and SPACs. Special purpose acquisition companies is what SPAC stands for. DL obviously is direct listing, and then we know, most of us know what IPOs are: initial public offerings. That's how you get yourself into the market, into the public markets. That is, Joseph.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, let's go. It's not looking too good here in Tesla as we start to pull back. I will note that the volume was significantly lower as after we broke out. You've seen it step in, but now it's starting to pick up onto the downside, and that's not something I want to see here. So if we come back to my break even, I'm just going to hop out of this. I won't hold on to it for too long, but the market is ripping. Someone in the chat asked me, Joe, what about what happened to SQQs?
What happened?
Well, I got out because I told you if it breaks that high, then the thesis is invalid, and if the big names are trading higher, then you have to get out of that trade. You don't want to be going against the market. If you're trading TQs, SQs, whatever it may be, and you're not watching the mag or the heavy tech stocks, and you're like, well, why? Well, what's happening? Well, take a look and see what's going on. And if you're trading against them, good luck. Honestly, I wish you all the best luck, but that's not something I personally do here. Samrat, please stop doing that.
What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the things that the emojis there that he's putting in there. I don't know for some reason.
Those are scary,
Yeah, exactly. I didn't. It's scary, spooky. But yeah, this is you know that song, right? Scary.
Yeah, but that's like your thing, because you're always saying it.
Yeah, exactly, when it's scary, yeah.
Get it, Joe.
I mean, crazy, scary, spooky. But yeah, let's go. Let's break this high here on 14.7 is a key level here on Tesla. Sharif and I mentioned the high levels of open interest at 350, so there might be some room to run. Pre-market high would be an ideal target, or even we're at opening price or just slightly above opening price right now too. So again, yeah, I got to be patient to see if this market's going to continue to climb. Let's go NVDA. I want to see what Meta's up to. Bitcoin's on the absolute monstrous recovery, and I love seeing that as well. So that's a good positive look. Yeah, Meta not doing too much. So if these big boys really start to get the ball rolling, I think we'll be sitting pretty, Sharif.
All right, man. We're doing it live right now on ATYU. We've got 27s. It's giving me 37s. So we're still having trouble making a new 5-minute candle to make a new high. Here we go. Can I get the print, please? We're dancing with 40s. I'm waiting at 40. Come on, bruh. You got to make me wait like that, man. All right, so it did move into my level, but it didn't cross, true to form, so we're going to have to pack our patience. Yeah, coming right back down into my entry here. Now, the money fills on this one, we're right at that $0.25. So I do have a good price, but it got to go. I mean, that's the thing. So we're at a half the position, not for a lot of profit, so I need this thing to run up. So I'm going to try to pack my patience. I already have my stop, come what may. Let's look at the other trade that we've got on at the moment. It is SATL. It is having a whole lot of trouble taking out 70s, but this feels like a possible flat top break through that 70 penny area because we've been rejecting that area over and over and over. So we've got also higher lows in addition to that. And that typically is a bit of a warning that it could be a flat top break, not a hard and fast rule, but one to be aware of. Daniel, walk me through Rivian. What do you want to know, Daniel? Do you want the fundamentals? Do you want to hear about the R2? Or are you looking just for technicals and levels and stuff like that? Tag me again, Daniel. Let me know what your situation is there, exactly what you want to know. I don't mind giving you my opinion, which is all that it is. on RIVN. Happen to love the cars. That doesn't mean we can invest in it, though. There's two different things. Don't like Polestar.
Ooh.
Don't like any of these Polestars, but invested in it, right? So just my little spiel there. All right, guys. So keeping my eye still on ATYU. Hold on. I'm not crazy, right? AYTU. AYTU. So keeping my eye on that 5-minute chart, Daniel T. All right, we're going to look at Rivian here for your boy Daniel. Shout out to my nephew.
Sorry, I have to go to the
His name is Daniel as well. So let's go RIVN. Oh, look at that weekly on Rivian, Joseph.
Yeah,
A good look, eh?
I wouldn't even look at that.
He wouldn't even look at that. He's leaving. He's so disgusted, he's leaving. All right, the 5-minute chart is kind of a good look. Obviously comes back, big move up, relatively speaking, of course. Comes back into that predictable level of the volume-weighted average price. Has a 4-candle hold-up at VWAP, then starts putting in higher highs and higher lows. Keep your eye out, though, for a possible double top. When you have resistance at a particular area like this and you start curling back down, it could be a double top. Not really sure. The money fills, though, seem to be at the volume-weighted average price. So if you can pack your patience for that 15 retracement, all the better. If it ends up holding the 10, I would maybe start a position at 15.20, 15.23, small position, and I would give it maybe to the 20 EMA, which is around 15 low teens. Doesn't hold that, I stop out. I put a bigger position at VWAP because it's shown its propensity to hold that level, and then I look for a move back up. But yeah, Rivian doesn't really have a catalyst today. Let me just double check that. Make sure that there is no catalyst. Yesterday, Jefferies downgraded Rivian on weak demand outlook. So Jefferies pooped on this one yesterday by downgrading it. So that's from yesterday. Not really today's news, but just wanted to let you know that, okay? So look for VWAP, maybe 15. Start a position if you want at the 10 EMA with a stop a little bit below the 20 EMA on the 5, of course, as you were saying. And let me know how that goes. So we're continuing to hold my AYTU trade, but this one, SATL, took out that 70 seller. Good. And now we're up to 73. Alas, I'm waiting at 76. So we're going to have to pack our patience for a fill on this one. AYTU, though, look, it's continuing to dance at that spot. It's not losing the $0.25, but it's not exactly zooming here either. So I'm kind of unsure. Should I be picking more up? I'm going to pick more up. All right, I'm going to pick more up, and I'm going to defend into about 15. The reason I say that is because that's where the 10 EMA is. So I'm looking to pick some more up here. I'm going to go ahead and wait over here, and then I'm going to wait also near that 15. I'm going to front run it at 17s, all right? So that's going to be my move. We pick some up there. We get the fill at, there we go, and it looks like just got the other fill there. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go, picked it up. So let's see what this one does right now. What do we got on? I don't know why this just didn't let me in right now. There we go. There we go. Now we picked it up. Good. Okay, so let's see what this one wants to do. We've got the 17s on now. If it ends up losing that 10 EMA, that's going to be the end of the trade over here. So we'll pack our patience there. Joseph, what are you looking at, bro?
Yeah, guys, I'm in the I'm back into SQs. I flattened out here on TSLL just because it came back. Wasn't risking it just being a choppy day and just kind of lifting that downtrend line. So yeah, that's what I'm in. I'm going to get slightly aggressive once again here on the SQs. If it starts to work out, I can pull that up. But you can see I entered here, doubled it up there, and then I tripled it up right there on TSLL, but it didn't work. So, well, I mean, I took some off, but I got stopped out the majority of there looking for the continuation. But now we're back into some SQs. You can see I entered here, stopped out here at the break of this, the lower end of this range. So that would be the high of the day right there. But now I'm back in kind of where I got stopped out. So I like this positioning, especially for this move back towards the volume weighted average price. Go Bitcoin, go. Let's
go Bitcoin.
Yeah, let's see what it dares up to, guys.
Keep an eye on Meta. The company is saying that users can now customize Meta AI to provide detailed responses on on Ray-Ban Meta glasses. There's also a volunteer feature, which is going to be launching in 18 countries where Meta AI is supported. So again, Meta AI glasses update coming from the company itself. Back to you.
For that, Adara. All right, guys, we're back in our friend ASST at 42s. It's at 50. I've got a couple of sell orders here. One a skosh above that $0.50, and then one a lofty price into the 60s. Here we go. There's a seller of note at the $0.50 like there's been all day. Can we shake them? I think we just wicked super quick into that 51 and then didn't have a follow through. So here we go again. We're zigging, we're zagging. I'm willing to bet we probably reject the area and then come back down. So if that's going to be the case, oh wow, okay, so we're taking out the levels. This one's really going here. ASST, here we go again, taking out that $0.50, still south though of that high a day, which happens to be 57s. So let's keep an eye out on this one, see what it wants to do. Still involved. SATL all done this trade, so we ended up getting that flat top break, and I got my money fill there at 76s, so that one is all done and clear. Now this one's coming down as I expected, so I'm going to throw orders here on my friend ASST for some money fills. Let's go ahead and wait at 33s, and then we're also, because the 10 EMA is a skosh below that $0.25. Let's go ahead and wait right there as well, see what we can get, and we will not get upset. My friend Neil is getting all ready and mic'd up, and oh my goodness, AYTU. This one's zigging and zagging, Joseph, but it's still not clearing that 10 EMA, so I'm going to try to pack my patience. We're break even on it now, but I don't know what to do about this one. If this one's going to go or what, I don't want to be DCAing like a schmuck over here. So I'm thinking about this one in real time. It's at the 10 EMA. Well, VWAP's at 2, but I'm not dollar cost averaging into 2. Well, I can. I'm only at 217, so it's not going to hurt me that much. That's the thing, right? I can DCA into 2, and that's the volume weighted average price. It's also the whole dollar. I've convinced myself.
You've done it.
I've convinced myself. I've convinced myself. There we go. We're going to defend that $2 area come what may. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm still sitting in the same position here. I'm also still cooling in Foot Locker here as well, too, guys. Again, only 3% of that position, just letting it ride. We're starting to move sideways on that one, but it's hyper-focus on the SQs. I won't be adding to Foot Locker or anything along those lines because you can see that it went on a decent run. And to be honest with you, from an intraday standpoint, it's not the best trader in my opinion. So you can see that we were in at the lows on the 5 minutes. Yeah, like look at this chart. So we were in around here, and then we got this whole move all the way to the top. I actually top ticked that wick right there on some shares. So now just sitting on a little bit of a runner to see if we decide to take a second leg higher. And I was mentioning to you guys the other day that NYSE stocks, I'm not the biggest fan of trading them. They trade just significantly different in my opinion. But let's go Bitcoin.
You're not the first person to say that, by the way.
Yeah. They do. Again, I don't want to, obviously people are like, oh, it's all stocks. But no, like NYSE stocks in my opinion move significantly different than like NASDAQ.
And there's a bunch of different like things, like we don't get the tap. Theoretical auction price on NYSE,
exactly.
And they open at weird times. Sometimes they don't open at 9:30.
Like think about like Bob sometimes takes like 3-4 minutes to open up after the
exactly.
market. It's like what? Like
there's a bunch of weird stuff that happens.
And what you'll notice, guys, is that like when they decide to move, it's just that in between, there's so much time in between before, like it'll chop you around and then it'll make its move. But it just takes so long for that to happen. Oh, guys, I got to pull up my notes. I don't know why I wasn't trading this here today, but I mentioned the gap fill on IBIT and I had it written down in my notes. And you can see we're starting to head back into the lower end of this, of that pre-market range there, guys. So really nice trade on Bitcoin as it started to recover here on the day. But yeah. Not looking good. NVDA looking like it wants to take another leg higher and head into those pre-market high zones. The Q's not wanting to break down. So it may take multiple attempts. I'm glad that I'm just taking small haircuts. I'm not adding any significant size just yet until the thesis starts to work. And I think that's one thing that's really important to know is that, again, you see me add aggressively into these positions, but that's usually not until things start working. I gotta go now. I gotta go. It's lunch.
Recess is over, Joseph.
It's crazy.
It's all over.
But yeah, I mean, so again, you'll see throughout my examples in my trading. Obviously, it doesn't work all the time, but I just try to put it in my favor. When things start to work, that's when I get aggressive. But guys, we're going to Adara with happening now, and then we're gonna go to Neil.
Oh,
lesson of the day.
Get it, Neil.
Sharif, I might have a small cap for you, but I'm going to start here with the S&P 500. SPY, nice look here, up 0.25% positive on the day. NASDAQ also positive on the day, though slightly less than the S&P. And let's talk about the small cap I just saw pop up for you here, Sharif. BMGL. Now, this is not great here, about a 4.4 million share float, but nice move here off the lows, the 15-minute chart for BMGL. So this is called Basel Medical Group. 330,000 share float and 4.5 million shares traded on the day. So very small float, nice volume for BMGL. Let's talk about some of these other tickers. UNH bouncing really nicely off lows. Not only did this company announce the resignation of its CEO and suspended its guidance on Tuesday, now we also have, as reported by Wall Street Journal, a potential DOJ investigation for fraud. Here is Coinbase. This one also bouncing very nicely off lows, giving back pretty much all of this drop to the downside. Coinbase was on watch here, and we alongside a lot of other crypto names, but Coinbase also faced a hack. So lots of tickers to keep an eye on, and lots of these names that got hit pretty hard earlier trying to come back swinging. We're going to send you over to Neil for his lesson of the day. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you.
Lesson of the day brought to you by a famous saying. Well, it's probably a famous saying. I have no idea. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You know, and that's what principles priceless. I think it's one of those things that that gets said a lot. Like whatever you do that works for you to make you money, you've got to be willing to lose doing the same things. Now, willing is part of it. You never want to, but you've got to understand. If a trading setup is something that you do that 80, 90%, 60%, 55% of the time, whatever it might be, is a positive expectancy, then you've got to do it. And that's regardless of the previous result, right? So I'm going to give you probably a perfect example of that here today with Dick's Sporting Goods. Why am I so childish? I have no idea why. Anyways, I should be able to say that without. It does, and Sharif is not helping at all because every single time I say it, the guy starts laughing, and I'm trying to be professional about this. So, Dick's Sporting Goods down because of the Foot Locker deal, or presumably because that ended downgrade. It was an SSR bounce play, trend down like this. Whoops, I want to draw my trend line. There's your trend down. However you draw it, it's pretty. Regardless of how you draw the trend line, the entry was a pretty simple one. Bottoming tail wick, also at the key level of 175. It breaks the prior bar, I go into the long. Now, I generally have a rule for myself that once it goes to first resistance, I move my stop up. If I'm trying to hold it either into VWAP or like the second resistance level. In this particular case, it flat out bombed, right? Like I move the stop up. If I keep the stop at the low of the day, I'm still in this one and it goes. And it's unfortunate. And with that result, it would have been really easy to have decided not to take UNH because United Health is like about 1,000 times weaker of a stock. But ultimately, it's the same principle. We were looking for what's the key level going to be. In this particular case, there was 250 is about as obvious of a level as you're going to get. And it's a similar setup. Bleeding stock, down over 10%. Seems like it's down 10% every day, so it's been SSR forever. But there's your trend from the open. It simultaneously breaks trend line and holds the 250 level. So the long is, stop me if you've heard this before, break of the prior bar low. And until it hits first resistance, my stop goes underneath the bottom. Now, if it had hit first resistance and then done this, I would have been wicked out. Like if this initial move had gone into the money, $3, and then come back and I'd be stopped out. It didn't, so I follow the exact same pattern of action. Now keep in mind, that just minutes before, we take the L on a very similar setup. But you go back and you just do it because that is something that over time works. And you, in this particular case, like you can hit one or two losers on a Dick's Sporting Goods. In this particular case, it was close to flat because I put it at break even. But I could have hit 2.5 losers on Dick's and then had the winner on UNH cover that one up as I try to stumble through that again. Phrasing is just a peach when you're talking about Dick's Sporting Goods. And that's what it comes down to. Oftentimes, we get wrapped up in trying to be perfect and every single trade is going to be good. But it's not about that. It's about is something a positive expectancy. If the last time you played, pocket queens under the gun, you raised, you got re-raised, you put in a 3-bet, and you got busted by a weaker hand. If you're then afraid to go and do it the next time, well, then you're not a poker player. And so in trading, you've got to be willing to take your positive expectancy setups regardless of what happened before. Sometimes regardless of what the overall market is doing if that specific strategy doesn't care about it. And psychologically, it can be something that's daunting to do. I actually had this conversation with, I was messaging back and forth with Obi over an unrelated stock. We saw it differently, and he made on it, and I even lost on it. And I said, you know what though, this is what I do on day one, and it works for me over a year. So I got to lose on a day like today, but I could have lost a little bit less. And that should be your attitude. Trade your strategy, and the best part about it is the more you do it like this, where I can look at Dick's Sporting Goods. That was the worst one of all the ones I said. I can look at DKS, have quite possibly the worst outcome you could imagine, where not only did I get out, but it was a perfect reversion trade all the way into the volume weighted average price. And it would be easy to just get frustrated and not take UNH after that. But you just sort of stay focused. You keep emotions out of it. Same setup happens. You hit the keys and you just do it. And if you do that enough times, eventually the emotions just aren't part of the equation. And you can just focus on the executions and the trades, and you win some and you lose some. And you won't see me get that crazy. Like, I'm not dancing around when it works, and I'm not getting overly frustrated when you see me trade when it doesn't. But that's because I boiled it down to, this is my execution strategy. This is where I get in. This is where I get out. This is my plan. And win, lose, or draw, I know that over time, I'm a consistently profitable trader, and that's all I end up caring about, as opposed to the emotions of each individual trade. So there's your lesson of the day. Regardless of the previous outcome, your job as a trader is to find positive expectancy trades and setups, and then from there, execute them consistently. And that's all you can ever do as a trader. And sometimes you're going to be put to the test where you have the worst possible outcome or bad outcome on a previous trade on a specific setup, and like 10, 20 minutes later or a half an hour later, that same setup comes on another stock, and you have to take it despite of what just happened to you, and you just got to be able to do it. And over time, that mentality is going to do you wonders. That's your lesson of the day. I'm so childish. Enjoy, everybody.
Look, man, been there with you, been there, Neil. But yeah, look, obviously we understand exactly what he's talking about, but we're just chuckling. We're having a good time. We got 3 hours to fill, babe.
3 hours to fill.
Yeah, so that's the situation. Look, guys, at least it's not that quarter where Dick's Sporting Goods was complaining about a lot of theft. Because we know what we call theft in the retail industry, right, Joseph?
We know.
What do we call theft in the retail industry?
You tell me, brother. You tell me, brother.
Dick's was experiencing a lot of shrinkage because there was a lot of theft. Okay? Yeah. Well, it's not up to me. Like,
Neil's dead. Neil's dead. He's done.
Neil's done.
Yeah.
All right, guys. No. We having a good time in this place. Yeah, the market's moving up, Joseph. You want to cover that for a second here?
You see, this is the thing, right? I don't want to get too much into this. The market is just continuously squeezing. You've seen that now that Tesla's broke through those highs. NVIDIA has, so I don't want to be facing these shorts. I'm sure Bitcoin as well off a signal. But if the market wants to behave like this, then I want zero part on any form of mean reversion. So I'm going to have to be patient. I think eventually it does turn around here, but it's just slowly squeezing people out, squeezing people out, squeezing people out. So yeah, I'm holding on to it. I'm a little bit past what I would like to be, but again, we'll just hold heavy. And if it does continue to climb, then I'll just hop out and look for something else here, Sharif. But I am short Bitcoin and the overall market. Not looking. Yeah, well,
we're gonna hope you do well anyway.
Well, I mean, NVDA is going to continue to climb, and if it does so, then there's no point in shorting this market. The signals were there, but if NVDA says it wants to go the other way, then I'm on the wrong side of the trade.
Fair enough. And I love all your comments in the chat, guys. Even the ones taking shots at me, they're still funny. I'm going to let you go. You're not going to get even a award. It's a good day today, guys. So, yeah, we're having a little fun. We all know what's going on. DKS reporting, obviously, or not reporting, looking to acquire Foot Locker, guys. That's a pretty big deal, in my opinion. For a number of reasons, obviously. I think what they're doing it for, Dick's Sporting Goods, number one, obviously, to take one of their competitors at a discount. Number two, they want international presence. They currently don't have that international presence, case in point, Canada. There is basically a Foot Locker at every mall. There's no Dick's Sporting Goods in Canada from what I know. Anyway, if there is, maybe there's one or two, but definitely not en masse. So they're looking at getting in here. Now, they are going to face competition if they do get into this country, because there is a very similar type of store already established here, goes by the name of Sports Check. So there's going to be some competition there, but if we know anything about business, economies of scale dictate. And I submit to you, DKS has better economies of scale than Sports Check, which is part of a larger company, by the way, owned by another company called Canadian Tire, and it's a whole thing. I'm not going to take you guys down that road, but very interesting merger nonetheless. As Joseph mentioned earlier on, the price per share that's being floated, about $24 a share. That's basically where Foot Locker is right now, at about that price, $23 or whatever. So, very interesting. I didn't expect this to be so quick. It was announced yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, at around 5 o'clock. That's when the price action reacted on the chart. So typically when the chart reacts is when the news does come out, because we know how these algorithms go, baby. It's not humans that are punching in. It's these algorithms that are reading the news, reacting to it. And now you've just got to assume that AI is playing a part in this somehow, right? Especially with these, Assassino.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, well, you know, he giveth and he taketh away, right?
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Okay, you ready for a little trivia?
Yeah. No, hold on. No. Time out. The other day you asked me my 3 favorite hockey players, and then it didn't even finish after what you were leading to.
Totally forgot what I was even leading to.
And then you asked me who my favorite, I believe.
I think it was Leaf.
Yeah, you asked me who my 3 favorite.
Darcy Tucker.
No, but then,
that I remember.
No, but then you asked me who I thought the best James Bond was, which essentially led to a poll, but we missed kind of what was leading up after that.
Why did we even talk about James Bond?
I don't even know, because you asked me who my 3 favorite players were, and I told you, and then you're like, all right, we'll get back to it.
I think we were talking about James Bond for the video games.
Yeah, the video game.
I'm pretty sure it was like GoldenEye, and there was a... Say that again, Adara? It was, yeah. So Derek confirmed me that. But I don't remember why I was asking you about the Leafs. I'm sorry. That was a couple of days ago now, man.
That's crazy.
I do apologize.
All right, trivia. Let's get into the trivia here that you're about to ask me. Yeah.
You obviously knew that bell toll there. A lot of people associate with The Undertaker, myself included.
Yeah.
What was The Undertaker's debut in the WWF at the time? Do you remember?
Like, what do you mean his debut? Like the date?
How did he debut? Because he debuted in a very specific way. It wasn't like a regular one where they had those video montages introducing the character, so to speak, like they used to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that at all.
Okay, I'm going to take a swing at this.
Go.
One. He came in a...
Don't look at the chat.
In a casket.
He didn't. Okay. But that's a good guess.
Or
I
the
would have thought
motorcycle.
that. No, that motorcycle came way later. That was no. I don't look at the chat.
I'm not looking. I swear.
All right.
I swear. How did he debut?
Okay, so there, Survivor Series, right? Like that, where their pay-per-views,
so,
4 against 4, and then everyone gets eliminated. So Ted DiBiase, who used to be called the $1 Million Man.
The $1 Million Man.
Yeah. So he had a team, but they were missing a wrestler. So he kind of he's like, okay, I'm going to introduce somebody new. Nobody's ever heard of this guy. He's the mystery guy. And then he introduced him, and he was like 6'10", like he came out as The Undertaker, and everybody was worried. He came out with Paul Bear, who was holding an urn, right?
Bear.
Like, oh, the power of the urn.
Yeah.
Anybody remembers that?
That guy's a narc for sure.
100% an arc. All right, guys, we're on our last leg here on AYTU. If it loses that $2 level, it's over. That's the area where I had my dollar cost average. Now we've got 215s. We're 10 pennies out of the money on this one. If this doesn't hold that volume weighted average price in 2, it is going to end here and we're going to go negative on this name. So let's see exactly what we get, and we're hopefully not going to get upset. And this one starts curling back off and moves a little bit higher. So AYTU in focus, as well as ASST. This is coming into the 20 exponential. If it loses that $6 level, it's all over for this one. So we'll give back on this one as well. This one's a lot smaller of size than the one on AYTU. That one I'm actually looking to hold on a little bit better. So keeping my eye on the, I know he was there. I knew he was there. Big smile. Burdette, thank you very much, my man, for the $5 super chat. I just got stopped out of ASSD, by the way. Did I miss?
Whoa, yeah, read it.
Hold on.
Don't read it out loud. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not reading that big file. Thank you for warning me about that. Yeah, he's a liability, bro.
Yeah.
He's done that to me before, but now I got you to read them so that I don't get exposed like that. Shout out to Big Spile. Thank you very much, brother. Hope you're doing well over there, my man. I showed you those flood pictures that he was sending me yesterday, which were kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
On his side of the field there. Yeah, only 2 inches of rain expected tomorrow. Hope you're not getting much rain, brother, because we're not getting anything over here. It's sunny, you know what, outside. So more pleased we could not be. What do you got over there?
I missed out on big opportunity on Tesla. I wasn't holding heavy enough and long enough. I was just looking for the quick scalp, but then, I just really started to move into my direction. That one sucks as it's continuing to squeeze higher and higher here, guys. And I think this move is gonna be sustained. So, not looking too good for the SQQ shorts as Tesla's just absolutely on a monstrous run. Wow. That is crazy, crazy, crazy stuff there. No, I'm not gonna chase it, guys. You know we can't do that. We have to be somewhat responsible, right? So I'm not going to chase it all the way up here, or am I just going to start punching to punch? But this was a big-time missed opportunity. Right where I punch out, it decides that it wants to go absolutely parabolic, and that would have been a really nice trade there, guys. But it is what it is. As it continues to climb here, love it, Tesla. So that's what it is. I want to see what's going on from a daily standpoint. Why am I this market? I don't know, but here it is. You can see that we're continuing to climb. I wouldn't be surprised if we got slightly higher this market. I think eventually it will maybe turn around because it's just gone in a straight line essentially to the top side. So we just have to be patient and wait for more of these signals to display. If they come, if they don't come, then it is what it is. I'm still in a good position where I don't have too much size on this SQQ trade. I'm still short IBIT, so if that starts working and maybe we get that move back towards the volume weighted average price, we'll be okay. So I'm more than fine taking a loss here on the overall market if it decides that it wants to continue to rip, Sharif.
All right, guys. AYTU is on its last leg. It's the only trade I've got on at the moment. If it doesn't hold 2, it's all over. So I'm just going to pack my patience on that one. And let's do the news now that we have an opportunity, because I'm not really liking any of these small cap gappers at the moment. I'm looking at my scanner. There's really nothing. There was BMGL, but that's lost VWAP already. So many ones are just not able to hold up. So, that's kind of the situation. Oh, hold on a second over here. Do we have a bottoming tail candle starting to form on ASST? The volume is really drying up here, though, on this one, and I just got stopped out of that. So I don't want to be quick to jump in, but it does look like it's putting in a bottoming tail candle that's forming into a hammer candle, which obviously means a bit of a bullish signal. Hasn't closed. We've still got 2 more minutes to this 5-minute candle closes. Here's the deal. Let's just throw an okay. I can do that. Let's go ahead and do just that. So we're going to put a breakout trade on this one for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, and that's what we'll do there. So if we get something there, we get it. If we don't, we don't. That's fine. Let's load up the said news. I don't even know where it went, man. I thought I had it up in this place. Just allow me a second, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should be able to. No, you're good. You're good. I can load this up super quick anyway. So, Google Docs, let's load up this. I'm going to do the news because there's a lot of interesting stuff today that we can talk about. United Health, guys. It's getting real ugly for this company. Real ugly. So let me just load up my side chart so I can see exactly what's happening. All right, Assassino, we're going to do the news, baby. All right, United Health, they're in trouble. Not just in trouble because their profits are dwindling, but now they're getting the attention of the federal government, specifically the Department of Justice Criminal Division. They had already been under investigation for civil fraud. Now they're under investigation for criminal fraud. Uh-oh. So the U.S. Department of Justice there. Can we move it a little bit that way so we can capture the tabs? Assassino, a little bit that way. Oh, amazing. So the U.S. Department of Justice has launched a criminal investigation into United Health Group's Medicare Advantage business, specifically that business, the Medicare Advantage business. It's their fraud unit that's overseeing the probe. And apparently, the United Health hasn't been actually approached by or even notified by the Department of Justice. This actually leaked from a Wall Street Journal article, which is a little bit interesting. That they're going that way. Now, the background on this is really quite interesting. Apparently, the investigation's been active since the summer of 2024, again, reported by the Wall Street Journal. In February, the Department of Justice, as I mentioned, also launched a civil fraud investigation into how they bill Medicare, their medical billing practices. There's obviously a senator as well who's kind of made it one of his prerogatives to go after this company. And this is part of a bigger move, guys, with the Department of Justice really going after these alleged kickbacks. They already sued 3 different insurers for kickbacks, allegedly, of course, to brokers to steer patients into their Medicare Advantage plans. And the reason that they do this is because private insurers, they get paid more for sicker patients. So that ends up incentivizing aggressive diagnostic coding. And I happen to know a little bit about that. My family owns some clinics, and we actually have a billing agent. We don't even allow the doctors to bill. We have a specific agent that basically knows what the codes are, knows exactly how to get the best out of the billing system. And this is, it's a bit of a gray area here. Let's just call a spade a spade. So a Medicare Advantage now covers about 50% of the 65 million different Medicare recipients. So it tells you it's not just a small group of people. So obviously all this has been unproven. None of this has been proven in court yet, obviously. So everything we're saying here is alleged. All right. Walmart. This is very obviously important because a lot of people hold Walmart in their long-term accounts. If it's not, maybe it's in your 401k, it's in your retirement, whatever. Walmart. A lot of people have exposure to Walmart. And good, because it's a good company. EPS adjusted beat, revenue missed. Look at this, Joseph. 165.61 billion in revenue. And look what their net income out of that revenue is. What kind of margins are those? Baby margins, bro.
That's not good.
Baby margins.
So I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, well, I get that. So they missed on revenue, not by that much. 165.61. The street was looking for 165.84. So potato on that one. Net income, as I mentioned, 4.49 billion. That's actually down from the 5.1 they printed last year on the quarter. So an interesting look there. Now, here's how their different segments did. So total revenue grew about 2.5%. Comparable sales, that means stores that have been opened a year. How did they do this time versus last year? At this time, okay? So you have to have been open for 1 year to be comparable sales, okay? Same store sales sometimes are called. Sam's Club also grew at about 6.7%, not a bad look. E-commerce growth, this is where it seems the margins are, and I'm not surprised by that because obviously less infrastructure costs. 21% year-over-year growth for the U.S. e-commerce, 22% for global e-commerce. That includes Canada, obviously. And their ad revenue now, they're making money on ads. Who isn't these days, Katina, man? They're printing about 31% year over year. And it's the first time ever that e-commerce for both U.S. and global markets actually grew in tandem. Their guidance, they reaffirmed 3 to 4% growth. Full year adjusted EPS, they're guiding about $2.5 to $2.50 to $2.6 per share. Q2 net sales expected to grow about 3.5 to 4.5%. but they will not give EPS guidance. And the reason they're not giving EPS guidance is obviously due to tariff uncertainty. CFO John David Rainey saying tariffs are still too high. We're wired for everyday low prices, but this is more than any retailer or supplier can absorb. He did warn of consumer price hikes, guys, starting into late May and into June as a result of the now 30% tariffs on Chinese imports. Joseph, anything you want to add before I go on?
I'm just managing this position right now.
No problem, brother. All right, let's keep going. Alibaba, another one that we all know about. Maybe not of us, all of us have exposure to Baba, obviously. It's a Chinese company, so, you know, there's that. But look, it was kind of a crappy report. Let's just be honest about it. Net revenue, 236.5 billion yuan. The street wanted 237.2. So a miss there. Net income also, I don't know why there's expectations on net income in China, because we don't have expectations on net income here. We have expectations on EPS, which is kind of similar. Anyway, 12.4 billion yuan. The street was looking for way, way higher than that. They missed by half, okay? 24.7 billion yuan they were expecting net income. They only printed 12.4, so almost cut in half there. Year-over-year revenue did grow 7%, and year-over-year net income, I'm not sure how this is possible when we just have. So apparently their net income grew 279% year over year. Why was the street expecting 24.7 then? I need to look more into that. That's kind of weird. Anyway, their core e-commerce, which comes from the Taobao and Tmall, that segment grew about 9% year over year. Likewise with customer management revenue, about 12% year over year growth. Their cloud revenue did grow nicely, 18% year over year, but we've seen better cloud revenue growth than that in North America. How come this thing didn't go long, bro? I put an order for this piece of crap to go long. It didn't freaking go long. Oh,
I'll chime in real quick on some Baba there.
Go.
Do what you got to do.
Why didn't this go?
For me personally, I know a lot of people will,
course.
But these ADRs are just not a space that I'd be looking to get involved into. So I'm just going to talk a little technical talk here, guys. I mean, if you're catching the lows and selling up into that, but just look at these pullbacks, overnight risks. Just there's too much uncertainty with the Chinese government, in my opinion. So for me, there's so many other names that I would look, and spaces that I would look to kind of allocate my cash into, and these ADRs are not one of them whatsoever. You can see if we just continue to climb back, it's just a lot of sideways price action, and at your peaks, you just give back the majority of the moves. So if we go to that 2020 high, it just dumps in the span of a couple of months. It just, boom, you get a 56% haircut, and then essentially you don't even recover fully from that standpoint. So for me, personally, Chinese ADRs are an absolute no-go. I like American spaces. I like the American economy, and that's exactly what I'm going to stick to for the foreseeable future. Can there be opportunities that arise? Absolutely. But for now, it's not for me, and that's all I can say about
That's fair.
Alibaba.
All right, let's bring it back in over here. I'm not sure where the hell it went. Oh boy, there we go. Sorry guys, just bringing this one over here. There we go. So their cloud revenue grew about 18% year over year, and we've seen. Hey?
Oh no, sorry, I'm talking to myself.
We've seen way better growth than that from either Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. So kind of, yeah. It's faster than the previous quarter, but it's not really meeting up to some of these American standards. Also, AI, they got good AI momentum there with their Qwen 3 launch. That's their version of the large language model. Their AI revenue grew triple digits for the 7th straight quarter. So not a bad look. Obviously, we did get word that they were looking at using DeepSeek's what's it called? Large language model as well, and they were looking actually working with DeepSeek. We'll just finish this quickly, and then we'll do the ad. Some of the headwinds that they're encountering here, guys: the trade war effects, obviously tariff tensions, dented sentiment a little bit, consumer weakness in China continues to persist, especially with the weak real estate sector and the price wars, guys. JD.com, PDD, they're all competing with Baba. They're all in that online retail space, Joseph.
Yeah, good stuff there. Okay, so I just pulled up the TSX. But guys, every trader knows if you want to grow, you have to risk more. At least that's how it used to be. Trade the Pool is changing that. You pay a one-time evaluation fee starting at $47. That's your total risk, and you get a real shot at trading up to $200,000 in company capital. You don't need a large deposit. You don't need years of experience. This is a limited risk trading platform built for any trader who wants to grow without putting everything on the line. Just a small skin in the game, and you're trading with real capital, guys. Scan Trade the Pool's QR code to get 10% off and start your journey there. But yeah, here's the TSX composite. Brando just messaged us. We're at all-time highs there, Sharif. We just touched it. So
that's the TSX.
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, let's go.
Go Canada.
What a monster recovery. I mean, this thing is. Hey, never mind China. We want to get involved in the TSX here. I like the way this is looking, and what an absolute monster recovery from the trough here all the way to what we're currently trading at, up a big 16% move since what was that low? April 11th there, Sharif. Oh. So yeah, just a little bit over a month here. Big recovery in the market, now approaching all-time highs.
I like it.
Maybe I have to get involved in the TSX session.
Look at this guy. All right.
I like. Well, hey man, you can't argue that fact, right? That we continue to climb here.
Look, bro. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
I'm not at all displeased of what I've seen from Mark Carney so far. I like most of what I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be
level-headed guy.
Yeah, very. He's running 1%. the government like a business. I love to see it, bro.
1% tax.
I'm not gonna take liberties like our friend Kevin O'Leary yesterday and talk about the old guy. But what I'm seeing from the new guy, Joseph.
I think people. Yeah, I mean, he's one thing. I like how he handled that Donald Trump meeting and everything along those lines, and I like how he's just cool and calm demeanor. Right. I think that's a lot. That's a lot how kind of Canadians are. I wouldn't get too far ahead, but I feel like we're more polite. Like we just like, okay, all right, relax. I think a lot of Canadians are polite. Yeah, well, I think a lot of them are.
100%, yeah.
But I just like the cool, calm demeanor that he brings, and I think that's exactly what we need. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the other guy wasn't the right thing, like a radical change on some things, right? So again, there you go. Congratulations, Mr. Mark.
Look, I'm liking what I see.
Yeah.
I'm liking what I see.
I mean, we're bringing in some fiscal policy, 1%, 1% tax rate cut for the middle class there. So we'll take it.
Adara, what's going on up there?
No news, but I do think it's funny. You just went over the news there, Sharif, and I wanted to let you have all the time for that. But my interest was piqued when you mentioned that DOJ fraud investigation as reported by the Wall Street Journal into UNH once again, because if you saw this infographic here, which I debuted yesterday, UNH does not necessarily have a clean history when it comes to fraud investigations or just investigations of impropriety into their CEOs. There are two CEOs here that did have a little bit of business scandals that caused them to resign. The first is actually the founder of the company, Richard Burke, who stepped down in 1987 due to his dual role at a couple different companies. But then William W. McGuire, he was the real cherry on top here. What happened here with William McGuire is he was basically, there's an investigation here. He was accused of some swaps, some stock option swaps, improprieties there. He did actually end up having to settle with the SEC. So in case you missed this deep dive yesterday, I think it's pretty appropriate that we bring this up once again, because after this was posted, a couple hours later, then we get the Wall Street Journal article. So check this out on X at TTV Research. If you enjoy fun market-related content, this is the stock performance under each of these CEOs. This is since the company's inception and IPO on X at TTV Research. And yes, there is a period where the company had no documented CEO. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Appreciate that. And sick infographic, by the way, as always.
As always, for sure. I added a little bit to my iBit short there, Sharif. I'm looking for that breakdown, a nice signal. Maybe we get this pull back into the volume-weighted average price, and I'm waiting to add into this SQQ trade. Okay. We are really extended from VWAP, so again, really strong market. NVDA is continuing to climb, but if that reversion comes into play, I'm going to be positioned relatively well. I'm looking forward to see if it comes into play or not.
That's what I like to hear, man. All right, let's talk a little Apple here, baby. Donald Trump displeased with our friend Timmy C. Why, you ask? Well, he criticized him yesterday openly during his trip to the Middle East. He says he doesn't want the company to expand production in India. Build them in America, he says. The comments come amid Apple's ongoing strategy, obviously, to diversify production away from our friends in China to expand into India. And that comes much to the chagrin of the orange one. He said, I said to him, Tim, I don't want you building in India. We put up with all the plants in China, now you got to build in brackets the US. India can take care of themselves, says Donald. So Apple's India expansion, they aim to produce about 25% of their global iPhones in India, apparently within a few years. Obviously using Foxconn, who's building a plant in India with an Indian partner, by the way, not Foxconn on their own. The primary manufacturing partner, Foxconn, just secured approval for a semiconductor plant in India with that partner, as I mentioned, HCL Group is what they're called. The move is part of a larger plan to reduce dependence on China, where actually, believe this or not, 90% of all iPhones in the world are still assembled. So obviously a big amount there that they got to move. So in February, Apple pledged about $500 billion in U.S. investments, including a Texas facility to produce servers for Apple Intelligence, as well as to continue producing the MacBook Pro in the U.S. I didn't even know that was made in the U.S. India reportedly now, to kind of get on Donald's good side, is offering a zero tariff trade deal. We're still yet to hear all the details about that, but that got floated yesterday. Does that move the needle here? Does Donald maybe switch his tune on wanting everything produced in the United States in terms of iPhones if India all of a sudden is sweetening the trade deal? We're going to have to wait to see how he reacts to that. So very interesting development there out of the Middle East, where Donald is at the moment. Today he's in, I think, the Emirates. He's in the UAE today. And today, I think we're going to get the big boy deal. So he was in Qatar yesterday. He was in Saudi Arabia the day before. Now he's going to be in the UAE today. He was apparently, he might have been going to Turkey, where Zelensky and Putin were supposed to be meeting for some peace deals. Looks like maybe Donald won't be making it there. We'll have to wait. That was scheduled for the weekend. Stay tuned to find out exactly what happens there. Anything you want to say before we go on to Cisco?
Yeah, I want to bring on, talk about a little bit about IBIT here, guys.
Go ahead.
So one thing I want to note is just how you can see the orderly and the price action to the top side. And then as we're taking a breath, a lot more disorderly type PA. The short, I think we're going to blow past this signal, and with that being said, you can see us continuously climbing here. I added for that move back towards the volume-weighted average price, but it's just not working out how I anticipated it, and NVDA is just going absolutely parabolic, so there's probably another deal being made. Being short right now isn't the best idea, in my opinion, especially how strong this market's been for the past little while. If there is going to be any form of short, I think it will be displayed in the price action and the volume profile. So we've got to keep an eye out on that one. But now NVDA 135 and change, continuing to climb, just dragging the Qs all the way up with it too.
Yeah, shout out to Dijon Mustard. Thank you for correcting me, Dijon. Not the MacBook Pro, the Mac Pro, excuse me. Sorry, you're actually accurate about that. I got that one wrong. Thank you for correcting me. All right, Cisco guys, they beat Q3 estimates and they also boosted their guidance despite the risks that tariffs are posing. EPS adjusted 96 pennies. The street was looking for 92. Revenue as well, 14.15 billion. That beat the 14.08 expected. Revenue growth 11% year over year, and net income, that's a nice little bump there. It's about $2.5 billion. They printed about 1.9 last year. The EPS for the guide, again, a bit of a range, obviously 96 to 98 pennies. That's ahead of the expectations, even the lower end, which was with 95 pennies. Revenue, again, the guide 14.5 to 14.7. The midpoint there is ahead of that 14.58 expected. And the CEO, Chuck Robbins, he confirmed that the guidance, guys, that he's giving here already includes 30% China tariffs and 25% Canada-Mexico tariffs that were factored into guidance. So you don't need to make the adjustments. And he also noted that there was really no signs that the customer was slowing down or whether they were stockpiling ahead of the tariffs. So we don't really need to look at any front loading here as a risk. Segment highlights. So they have 3 different segments that they work out of: networking, security, and AI infrastructure. They did pretty good on most of them. So networking revenue up 8% year over year. Security revenue, this one was nice, 54% year over year. But guess what? not good enough for the analysts because that missed the expectation of 2.17 billion. They only printed 2.01. Doesn't matter if they grew 54. As Neil always says, it's always better or worse than expectations. AI infrastructure orders as well, kind of a nascent area for them, $600 million in revenue in this quarter. And the CEO said Meta and others, believe it or not, are moving away from NVIDIA's Infinity brand in favor of Cisco's Ethernet-based solutions for AI clusters. Where did we hear that? Oh, that's right, our friend Elon. Isn't he the one that invented that? Because he's the one that was able to string 100,000 H100s together. Until Elon did it, nobody had done it. Jensen was so flabbergasted, he had to fly over there himself to see it. He didn't believe Elon. I'm exaggerating for effect. So that's a look there. All right, anything before I go on to DKS?
No.
Okay, I don't want to say the other one there. I'm getting myself in a little bit of a titty there. Okay. All right, Dick's Sporting Goods. All right, so DKS, they are set to acquire Foot Locker in a $2.4 billion landmark retail deal. So here are the details. The acquirer obviously is Dick's Sporting Goods. If you don't know, ticker DKS. The target Foot Locker trading under FL. The value of the acquisition is going to be about $2.4 billion, or if you want to look at it on a per share basis, about $24 a share, which is an 86% premium from what Foot Locker closed at yesterday. That's huge, man. That's a monster. So if you were holding some Foot Locker shares, all of a sudden you're feeling good about yourself there because you just got an 86%. Say that again, Fabian? You got no stinky feet. I like that. This guy's joker, bro. The expected close, ladies and gentlemen, the second half of this year with no specific date. And the funding, how they going to fund that acquisition, baby, is going to be cash on hand plus new debt, obviously for DKS. The market reaction obviously is what it is. DKS going down, Foot Locker going up. That's typically the case for the acquirer. Usually goes down, the acquired usually goes up. Not a hard and fast rule, something I observed over the years. The rationale, what's the rationale behind all this? So they want to expand their mall presence, and it also gives them, DKS that is, Dick's Sporting Goods. They want to expand their mall presence. They also want that global reach that Foot Locker has. Foot Locker has 2,400 stores across 20 different countries, Canada being one of those countries. So maybe we see Dick's Sporting Goods over here. This marks Dick's Sporting Goods' first international push, and it positions DKS to weather the U.S. consumer downturn if the Trump tariffs have a negative effect on retail. Foot Locker will remain apparently a standalone business unit. They will not be homogenized with the larger company. So we'll keep an eye out on that, Joseph. Anything before I go on to CoreWeave?
Yeah. Let's see what we got going on with this market here, guys. I mentioned IBIT earlier. You can see that now that those healthier prints have started to really kick in, and now you cracked through that high a day. So good exit on that front. So happy with that one. But NVDA continuing to climb, now tapping into 136. I want to take a look at the options chain to see if we have any high levels of open interest around those specific strike prices. That's far away. We don't want that. I was looking at some other calls this morning. All right, so 136, we got 47,000. So let's see if this can act as some overhead resistance, or there's enough demand for us to just push through these key levels here. So 50,000 open contracts at that 136 strike price. And then you can see at 140, we have 84,000. So, that might be in the work here for this week, guys. And I mean, with that Saudi deal that we displayed, I was talking about it this morning as well, too. This name is really strong, and Bitcoin's strong as well. So shorting the market, a tough look. You don't want to go too much against that trend. We make another high, then I'll hop out of this and then be patient. Good thing they're just little paper cuts. As frustrating as it may seem there, guys, they're just little paper cuts and totally have the ability to come back from that. So yeah, not too worried. Continue to climb. Maybe we do roll over at some point, but again, the market just can continue. You can hold on to things, and then by the time you're like, all right, I can't hold on to it anymore and punch out, the market will turn around. So just be prepared. Give yourself enough shots. Always leave enough in that clip in order for yourself to give another opportunity there, Sharif. So yeah, Tesla looking good. Big time missed opportunity on my front. Don't know what I was thinking on just hopping out like that. Yeah, so there you go, TSLA, big move there, guys. You can see we were entering aggressively. I took some off, and then I just cut it right there just before it came back to my break even. But then it makes that move into those key levels that I was looking for, and now punched through that high a day. So there you go. There has to be some form of news lingering that we don't know about just yet on NVDA, Sharif, because look at this name. It just blew past everything.
Oh, you know the Emiratis are picking up hundreds of thousands.
Oh.
The Saudis were picking up tens.
Oh,
the Emiratis are picking up hundreds of thousands.
That's what I mean. That's
it's stupid.
That's why I was talking about this name. Like I don't think I've ever seen anything along those lines like that personally from in the Saudi deal, and that's why I'm like, okay, I'm happy to have skin in the game. Yeah, man. But I'm also like, if a year out, I can see this NVDA closing probably north of $200 at this pace. Like look at this stock go. It's crazy. We filled this gap now. This gap has been completely filled. We gapped down, we filled it, liquidity grab, we hold these levels relatively well, and then now we get that one test of the volume weighted average price, and then it's like, see you later, Sharif, leaving everyone in the dust. If you're not long this name, then it's gone without you.
Then essentially you're short.
You're short. Yeah, exactly. You're short essentially, because you're just missing out on pure money. But it is what it is, guys. We're gonna stay patient. Maybe these Qs come back into these levels, but Bitcoin's rolling, Tesla's rolling, and NVDA is rolling. So, but yeah, I mean, go Bitcoin. That's something positive. So yeah, we're happy about that, brother.
We got to let everybody know, Joseph, about easy trading computers. Have you ever entered an order to buy or sell, and the price you got filled at is completely different from what you expected? That's called slippage, guys. Slippage happens when you're trading on an old or an underpowered computer, and it costs traders a bundle. So that's why our friends at Easy Trading Computers created the complete guide to trading computers. This guide shows you exactly what technology you need to succeed as a trader and to avoid that pesky slippage. So go ahead, scan that QR code, or click the link in the description of the box to get a free copy of this guide. Shout out to the great folks there at Easy Trading Computer. All right, guys, here's the deal. Let's have a look here at, how we doing on these positions? We're basically break even on both, so we'll just pack our patience here. I happen to like the levels on both, so I'm gonna pack my patience. All right, let's talk about CoreWeave, Assassino. What do we got over here? So CoreWeave, earnings. I've got a lot to say about this company. I'm gonna talk about the earnings, and then I'm gonna wax poetic for a little bit about my opinion, okay? So they beat on revenue, but the stock slides on the loss and the CapEx concerns. That's gonna be the crux of my analysis there. So revenue, $981 million. It's a very, very respectable increase on the year of 420%, and it also beat the consensus estimate at 853. So over $100 million, almost $130 million beat there. Thumbs up. EPS, obviously, they're losing money. You'll see why in a second. They lost $1.49 per share with a net loss totaling $314.5 million on the quarter, which widened substantially from that $130 they lost last year, obviously because they were buying more chips. Very CapEx heavy industry, guys. Their stock initially popped, but it dropped 7%. I'm not sure where it's at right now. You can check it out. CRWV, it is. All right, so growth in the guidance, their Q2 revenue guidance, they're guiding here a bit of a range, 1.06 to 1.1 billion. That's well ahead of the 986.7 expected. Their full year revenue guidance as well, 4.9 to 5.1. If that ends up holding true, it'll be a bump of 363% in a revenue increase year over year. But this is where it gets very interesting. CapEx, guys, for full year 2025, $20 to $23 billion they're spending to buy out these NVIDIA GPUs or whatever other GPUs are using, as well as everything else that comes with being a data center, an AI data center. So they're spending, guys, let's give them the low end of the range, $20 billion, okay? What are they making on revenue? Let's go back and have a look. They made about $1 billion a quarter on revenue. So let's say they make $4 billion. Let's just give them the benefit of the doubt, $5 billion a year. They're still spending $20 billion. At what point does that flip? Or doesn't it flip? Because they're going to have to upgrade these GPUs at least twice, once every 2 years. So I've got more to say about this, but we're going to have to send it to Adara for a second.
sorry to interrupt here. I just want to let you guys know, as this market breaks out to the upside, we do have the UAE president and Donald Trump talking. I'm listening to this stream, but I think the big thing that's worth noting is the UAE president is telling Trump that they're keen to continue enhancing the friendship between both of their nations for their benefit. So seems like this UAE and U.S. relationship will continue, market continuing to the high side. Back to you.
Fair enough. All right, guys, so let's go on here for a second. So they've got good partnerships. Let me just finish the entire report, and then I'll give my opinion. So OpenAI partnership. They're making about almost $12 billion of a 5-year deal that they signed with OpenAI, Altman and crew, in Q1 of this year. There's also a $4 billion follow-up deal post Q1 that you can add on to the list there. And Microsoft accounts for a substantial sum of their 2024 revenue. 62% of their 2024 revenue came from Softy. Okay, great. You got a hyperscaler, but that seems very concentrated. The backlog total backlog here, about $25.9 billion. And the remaining performance obligations, that's what RPO stands for, about $14.7 billion, which was slightly down from the previous quarter of $15.1. So here's what I wanted to say. I'm like, all right, so we know NVIDIA's backing up this company, right? There's a substantial amount invested by NVIDIA into CoreWeave. So as I was telling Joe, and I was talking to Brendo about this, and Brendo had a really good point about this as well, which I'll get to in a second. To me, it seems very circular. NVIDIA invests in a company, and then that company buys its products. So then the ball keeps kind of turning. Now, I'm not saying CoreWeave's the only one buying these H100s, but it's super interesting. Now, Brendo's point was, like, look, hey, brother, it's a loss leader, right? You know, when you go into Walmart and they're selling you, I don't know, whatever, paper towels for at a $5 loss. They're not doing that because they're making money off it. They want you in the store so you can buy other things. We see this a lot where, you know, you create a loss leader so that it boosts one part of the company and the other one loses. And then when you do the balance at the end, you're in the green, not in the red. That'd be great. But, you know, this thing seems like it's going to continue to bleed money. Just how much they're spending on CapEx versus how much they're bringing in revenue. I just need to see a bit more. To be fair to them, though, we just started getting their financial statements and all these financial reports. So we'll have to see how this cookie ends up crumbling. But it's an interesting position. Anything you want to say before I go on?
Yeah. Bitcoin's now back to some key levels. Sharif, trading view. I want to see what actually the underlying's trading at here. Going on a nice move. As you can see, Tesla and NVDA just absolutely monstrous. Good stuff there. So what are we back around 93s? Yeah, 93s. 103.7 is what BTC, spot BTC is actually trading at right now. You can see that we have this nice consolidation. As long as we continue to hold this, I like our chances of kind of breaking through these key ranges and punching through and heading to that all-time high, because I think that's what this move can bring us. We hold these levels, and then as soon as we open at the top of the range, then that's when we can break that 109 level, and then it's just boom, maybe blue skies from that front. So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, guys, I mean, yeah, I missed out on Tesla today. I was in it. I got out of the position way too earlier, channeling the inner Toronto Maple Leafs, as I said in the chat there. But yeah, it's okay, guys. We'll find something else. There's still plenty of time throughout the day. I think patience is going to be the name. I know we say that a lot, but it's very, very important. Adair, what's going on?
Just keep an eye here on the NASDAQ. We do have basically the UAE president saying that they're going to be investing $1.4 trillion in the U.S. over the next 10 years. So UAE to invest $1.4 trillion in the U.S. over the next 10-year period. It is worth noting, too, Trump currently speaking. He and the president of the UAE are conversing right now. Also, just keep an eye on this market. The S&P Global Ratings coming out and saying they believe the U.S.-China tariff de-escalation we got earlier this week offers temporary relief. So much like what we heard from some of these Fed speakers earlier this week as well, just because we have this temporary de-escalation does not mean that we're out of the woods. Back to you.
I just took a print there on AYTU. I'm looking for this one to move up. Well, obviously I'm long. I have way more shares than I typically ever have. So we'll be trying to monitor this one here if we really start breaking out. It was very respectful of $2. And by extension of that, VWAP. And now we're getting that higher high, higher low kind of curling effect, that rounded effect. So I'm on the verge of getting printed here, possibly at 12s. Let's pack our patience. Let's see if we're able to extract that print. I think it behooves me to probably take another print there at 15. So let's throw one out there as well. We'll see what we get, and we won't get upset. Simple as that. Let's go on. Let's talk a little Boeing. This is a bit delayed. Obviously, Boeing secured the $96 billion jet deal with Qatar yesterday. Thanks to, do you see your boy there, Adara? He was on the trip. You want to chime in? You want to chime in?
My boy Kelly? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Trump literally praised Kelly. I don't know if he knew his last name. He did not say Ortberg.
He even called him Kelly. He's
yeah,
like,
he called him
get in here, Kelly.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, we're talking to Kelly. Oh, it's good. Kelly's doing a good job. So he is pro Kelly Ortberg, and I guess I will continue to face these Kelly Ortberg jokes, but I'm going to take them all in stride. Back to you.
I appreciate that, Adair. Thank you for that. All right, Sharif's mustache. Oh my God. There's Sharif's left bicep. There's Sharif Centaur or whatever, some mythical character and mythological or whatever. Centaur. There's Sharif's mom, which I took offense to in the beginning, but then I found it to be actually quite funny because they weren't saying anything rude about my mom. Yeah. Then it would have been on like Donkey Kong. Ooh. Let's talk a little bit about what this deal is, guys. So Qatar Airways, one of the nicest airplane carriers you're going to find around. Very, very nice, actually. They're buying up to 210 Boeing jets. Apparently, it's going to be 137. Wow, bro. 130, 787. This is not even the 737, guys. The 787, that's like one of their best product. 130 of those bad boys. And then the new 777, the 777-9, they're buying about 30 of those with an option to buy 50 more wide-body aircraft, not specified exactly which wide-body they're talking about. This is the largest wide-body aircraft order in Boeing's history. Wide-body. So we're not talking 737, guys. We're talking 757, 767, obviously the 747, the 777, and the 787. Those are what a wide-body. Anything 737, we know what that is. That's a smaller, more local flight things. All right, so the entire agreement, GE Aerospace is going to supply about 400 engines. So GE getting something out of this deal as well. This is also the largest engine purchase in GE Aerospace history. We're going to have to see that money come first because there's a lot of largest in history here. So the deal value and the jobs impact that this is going to have. The White House estimates it's about $96 billion in total value here. The jobs supported up to 1 million U.S. jobs, 154,000 annually. Boeing and Qatar say about 400,000 jobs are going to be directly supported. Obviously, we haven't checked that. The production site, not Seattle. Not Washington, or the Seattle area, not Washington State. It is South Carolina. And there's a reason for that. The union has something to do with that, okay? You can Google that yourself. I'm not going down that line. Yeah, I'm not going down that road. There's like, oh boy. All right, so you guys can do your own homework on that. 787, 777, we know what that all is. So that's the situation. Anything you want before I go on to Coinbase?
Yeah, let's see what this market is up to. SPY starting to approach those highs. We're still holding up relatively well. Bitcoin still continuing to climb higher. 59.04. I'd like to see this strength, guys. I was just mentioning it before and kind of what the general idea is. So you can see we've taken multiple stair-step patterns on this underlying. Starting from here, consolidation, big move up, consolidation, big move up. Are we going to repeat ourselves? Another consolidation and then a big move up, bringing us to a new all-time high, and that's what I'm looking for. Can you add into these positions at these levels? Absolutely. I believe that buying the all-time high is a solid strategy, especially after what we've seen here displayed, multiple months of consolidation. Then we get that dip by lower. Maybe we've absorbed enough liquidity in order for us to continue to climb. You know, Michael Saylor's continuously buying this finite amount of this stuff out here, so I'm not surprised at all from what I'm seeing. I would like that all-time high break, and then for me, it's 1.25. Maybe not by Sharif's birthday or anything like that, but I do believe it's in the works. And I mean, I've heard multiple analysts say $250,000 by the end of the year. We got to take one step at a time. We got to hit all of these levels first. But I would not be surprised if we hit those levels here in Bitcoin.
Well said, Joseph.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. One more thing here. What was I looking at? So yeah, Tesla coming back here as well. You can see that we're pulling back, but what an absolute monstrous move. It did fill that gap pretty much almost to a T, so a couple points away from that front, but a nice gap fill here. And that was part of my thesis. Also, NVDA, just absolutely monstrous stuff here from the king of all kings. And yeah, there it is, at 136.22 high, almost breaching that high of yesterday, but we started to slow things down. Is it in the works to kind of pass this pivot high? Absolutely. I like that for a potential look, but the shorts are tough, and you have to be patient. You're going to have to probably try a couple of stabs of this. You can see how extended from the volume-weighted average price we are. Are we going to get all the way back to those levels? I don't know. Time will tell, but this market is most definitely strong, Sharif.
Yes, sir. Just throwing out a stop right now. Just going to do that. There we go. We're good to go on that one, Jill. All right, let's bring in here. We're going to talk about Coinbase. This is the last story, guys. This is not a good look for Coinbase, but they're trying, I guess, to deal with it here the best way they can. So they suffered a major cyber attack, which exposed internal data and customer information. I'll get to exactly what that was in a second. The extortion attempt also involved a $20 million ransom, which Coinbase refused to pay. The estimated financial impact, a bit of a big range here. They're talking about $180 million up to $400 million in damage that was done when all is said and done. We'll wait for the exact number, possibly on the next earnings report there. Here are the attack details. So the criminals bribed foreign support contractors in order to weasel access into their system. The data affected, includes names, addresses, phone numbers. However, if you have your social security on there, which I'm assuming you do, it's masked, and your bank info also masked. So apparently that's encrypted and they can't get access to it. Not exactly sure. But your government ID images also were compromised, as well as some account details. They didn't specify exactly what account details, to be fair, okay? There was no access gained, however, to passwords, two-factor authentication codes, private keys, or customer funds. So those either were on a different system or encrypted or whatever else, okay? But they didn't get access to those according to the company. Now, the response and the recovery, law enforcement obviously involved. Coinbase terminated the compromised contractors that gave access to the hackers, and they're also launching a new US-based support hub. They're also upgrading monitoring for higher-risk transactions as well, hopefully this time, insider threats. They're also offering $20 million as a reward for any information leading to the attackers' arrest and conviction. They're taking that $20 million that the hackers wanted as ransom, and they're putting it as a bounty on the hacker's head. I happen to like that. Let's see if it works. They're also committed to reimbursing impacted customers, including victims of scams and impersonators. So we're going to have to wait to see exactly what happens there. Cancel? Okay. Oh, no worries. Okay, get in, Adair. Just tell us from here. Hit your button there. There you go.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Some confusion. Trump and the president of the UAE did a little pose with a plaque, and then I thought they were done, but then they went to sit back down, and then the stream ended. So I guess they're just chilling now, seated. The stream is over. They did the... So that is done. Donald Trump is, in fact, no longer speaking as of right now. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adair. Yeah, Adair always keeping a tab on what Donald is doing, and I think given the current state of the market, we got to be doing that at all times.
We absolutely have to know what Donald is doing. Like literally, we need a tracker, like they were doing with Kawhi Leonard for that little bit. Just get the helicopter on this guy and cover him 24/7. As soon as he pulls out his phone and is about to choose something, I need to know about it immediately. So yeah, thank you very much for that, Adair. I mean, the market is continuing to climb higher. Yeah, wow, what a missed op there on TSLA. I mean, I was taking stabs at it earlier. So this isn't necessarily my style of trading, but yeah, there it is, man. That was that missed op, and you can see it just held that 1460 really, really well, and then we get that move all the way up to there. So I would love to play this reversion trade, but again, it's just gonna take some time. It is 1 o'clock, right? Will it come into play? Maybe. But today is strong, and Donald's just going around the globe striking deals. So you want to, when he tells you to buy stocks, you got to go out and buy stocks. So Here's back to NVDA's daily and take a look at what's going on. I didn't think we were going to breach this because we have like 1, 2, 3 gap up days in a row. Even though we did slightly fill this one here, but they're not completely, but establishing a new high. I mentioned that we were only 13% off of those all-time highs, probably a little bit less here now, so 11% off of those all-time highs here in NVDA. And I mean, I mentioned from what we were trading at from the trough to where we're currently sitting at right now, a 55% return. So yeah, fantastic stuff. This stock has been absolutely amazing, and you want to continue in this strength. I'll pull up. I know Sharif was doing the news, and we've talked about it for multiple days. I know Adara was covering it the other day as well too, but I think it's just important to understand why are we continuously trading higher in this name. So I believe it was over 500,000. So the Saudis are building their, here we are, no, that's CoreWeave. So the Saudis are building their megawatt data center, and it's going to be powered by NVDA chips. And you can see that they're just heavily invested in it, and now we're continuing to climb. So this is exactly what we want to see, especially if you're long. So maybe we're allowed to ship its artificial intelligence to the UAE as well, too, under a draft agreement between the U.S. and the UAE. Reuters reported Thursday, citing 2 sources familiar. So under the proposed agreement, the UAE will be allowed to import 500,000 of NVIDIA's AI chips a year starting in 2025. So starting now, with 100,000 going to UAE tech firm G42. So there you go, 500K of these things a year. How could you not want to buy this stock? Bro. This is why we want to get involved in this. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of cash. Never mind not being able to sell the H20 to China. This is significantly better. That's now out the door. Okay, yeah, you can't make the deals that you want with China. Well, guess what? Now you got the UAE, you got Saudi, and there you go. You got some massive deals on the forefront of NVDA. Totally justifying this move in this stock, Sharif.
All right, just 1 second. I gotta send Sassino the.
For sure. So here goes the cues again, establishing another high. I'm glad that that's what you just got to get out. As frustrating as it may be, guys. Just listen to what the price action is telling you. So again, we took 2 attempts on the short. The first one was on this signal right here. I'm like, okay, let's see if we can get back into the volume weighted average price because we were relatively extended there. We break it, we get out. And then I tried once again up here. And then as soon as we established another high, I just got out of the trade. So just taking small paper cuts on that is totally fine because if something does turn up and it works out, unfortunately, we missed the opportunity on Tesla. It happens. But if it shows up here in the overall market, we're going to take advantage of that here, guys. And I know you guys are telling me, Joe, stay in it, be patient. Where's Luis Martinez when you need him? When you say, Joe, just sit in that trade because we've had multiple days throughout this week where Tesla has been slightly lagging the overall market, but then it breaks out and then it catches up with extreme force, and it was displayed here today, Sharif. So,
yeah, man, this market's really going here, Joseph.
Really
21.5.
Going. Dude,
all right, let's do some TA, baby. I'm not going to mention the dude's name in the chat because I don't want to hurt him, but he was telling me he'll see me at the bottom yesterday. I told him I'd see him at the top.
Bottom of what, though?
The market, the lows, which I found to be quite comical. Bruh, you see that? 22.5. Now we're just 1,000 points off the high. We're 5,000 points off the low. So I'll see you at the top. You know who you are.
You know it's lonely.
You know exactly who he is.
It's lonely up there too, eh?
21.5, Joseph. 21,509. Yeah, I know.
Dude, the market is 3.7% off of the all-time highs.
Yesterday it was 5. I told him we're off the
3
highs.
weeks ago, it was the world on fire, and then now we've just completely recovered. We were down 25% at one point, and now we're only down 3.5% off of those all-time highs.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I said there was 0 chance that the market was going to be at all-time highs by the end of the year.
Joseph?
I said there was no chance
you, brother.
with the way things were looking. But yet I'm longing NVDA and all these things. But Tesla's still climbing. The big name's still climbing. Microsoft is putting in a monster, and that's what Sharif, you and I were talking about it. That's when you're the top 3 cloud providers here. Microsoft the only one to beat, and look what's happened with the stock.
Yeah, well said, man. And you know, like obviously, take advantage of those times to add to the positions. Obviously, it's a lot easier said than done because when things are dark, they seem really dark, and you can't really see the light on the other side. But it's, you just when you feel that way, just kind of look at the statistics, maybe help you a little bit, that in those times, what are the chances that we see more all-time highs, right? So the market's really going here, guys. So fantastic look. Now, let's talk about the trade that I've got on. I've got 05s on AYTU. Just took out some 20s there. ASST has put me negative on the day, okay? I'm negative as a result of this, whatever piece of, I tried it way too many times. I gave it to VWAP. I gave it to the 10. So this one, trouble for me. What is good for me, though, is AYTU. We're doing well on it right now. So let's see where this one just dropped. As I said that, something happened with this one. What the hell? There was a liquidity grab that went all the way up to 40s. None of my prints filled, though. Really bizarre. And I'm seeing it on both platforms, mine and this one. So this one popped up. There must be a dark pool print, but my platform typically doesn't show dark pools, so kind of weird there. Drops all the way down to 10, being bought up again into 11s. Got the print there at 20. Let's see what this one does. This one breaks that 190 area. It's going to be the end of the trade, but we've taken some good profits on it. So let's see if this one wants to continue moving up. Bit of a bamboozler there, man. Not sure. Does anybody else see that on their charts, guys? Did you guys get this on your AYTU trade, or chart, pops up into 41s or 42s, drops all the way down into 01s. None of my orders printed. Really bizarre. So let me know what you guys are seeing on your end there, because I'm certainly seeing it on mine. Yeah, this is what I'm seeing right here. You can see that. It popped up all the way there, popped up all the way down. So usually those are dark pool prints that do that, but you know, typically on this platform, I don't get the dark pools. So SATL, so everybody is seeing it. Okay. Rupesh, Alan. All right, so you guys have seen it as well. Yep. Okay, Jacques as well. Chuck of all trades saw it. Yeah, really bizarre. Not really sure what that's about there. To go back and at the time in sales, we can do that, but that's a lot easier said than done. So keep your eye out on that. Guys, also I'm keeping an eye on SATL, one that we were involved in earlier. What a move off the volume weighted average price. This has been just very respectful of that higher high, higher low situation. The worst off it was when basically it got into that volume weighted average price, and since that we haven't looked back. Get it, Katina, man. 487. This is taking out highs as we speak. 488. SATL, baby. What a fantastic look that is. So let's load that. I think we already have it up on a trading screen over here. There it is. Yeah, this is a nice flat top break through 480. Maybe we can put in an order here for that 480 retracement. This is just taking out highs. So I'm going to go ahead and wait at the low area. If it wants to come back in and test that 480 breakout, maybe we'll get involved with that one. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to go without us here. Here comes $5, 490. This one is increasing in volume as well. These volume bars are about 100,000 shares a pop now, while before that they were barely above 25 and even 10,000 at times. So the volume is picking up here on SATL, up about 18%. Not a bad look at all.
All right, Sharif, sorry, we got a $5 super chat here.
Oh.
I don't know what, there we go, bang. From our guy, Alfredo Perez. I'm heartbroken.
Why?
Why are most girls so cruel? When they realize you love them, it's like you lose all the attraction they left. How do they move on so easily? Yeah, I know.
Alfredo, I'm sorry, brother.
Honestly.
But this isn't the forum, Alfredo, brother.
He just needed to get it out. So
That's fine.
That's fine. We get it out.
It's okay.
You're asking the wrong individual for dating advice there.
We've all been there.
So,
you're the one with a girlfriend, bro. Tell them, give the man a couple of words, bro.
Hit the gym, man. That's all I can say. That's it. That's it. It's done.
They're displeased with that advice.
Why?
She's like, that's the advice?
That's literally the best advice I could give any young individual who is heartbroken right now, whether you're male or female, is just let that fire burn inside and hit the gym at the end of the day. That's it. That's all I can say, is just hit the gym and they'll all go away.
And Butter, you're killing me, bro. How can she slap? Fabian, where's Fabian? Or Chilean Nightmare's not here. Okay, when he gets back. Oh, that would be a sick animation if we did that. How can she slap?
By the power of Grayskull.
What kind of show is this?
Bro, that's such a good animation. Gives me goosebumps every time. Better advice than hit the bottle, says the OG Darwin.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to have to echo that sentiment.
You don't want to do that.
No, he said better advice than telling someone to hit the bottle.
Absolutely. Yeah, nothing good comes from that.
All right, guys. Oh, man. What is this? Oh, SJ Jack, don't be like that. I want to hang out with her new boyfriend. He seems fun. That's not nice.
Yeah, we don't.
That's not nice, SJ Jack. Come on, bro.
Just hit the gym, man.
To be supportive, bro.
That fire that you have, that stomach feeling, that fire will burn for years to come, and just use it as fuel.
I typically use Tums for that.
For that. Oh yeah, the old gut feeling there. You just throw some Tums.
You don't get it?
Yeah, I get it. But I mean,
My
like,
bad.
in real. Uh-oh.
You saw him?
No, I didn't.
He is here. He's arrived. Big smile for Dad. Alfredo,
That's like, you can't read this guy's.
Nope. You're not going to get me this time, Big Spile. I'm not even going to read it. You did this to yourself, Big Spile.
Yeah.
Guys, what's it called? SATL is really going here, guys. It's really taking out highs. So this one is on the way to $5. It looks like 18 and a third it goes. It's not even retracing here. So do we punch long for that move into 5? I mean, I'm almost certain we're going to encounter some resistance at 5, at least initially. This thing's really going. So it's on a breakout right now. This is on a breakout. So this is really incrementally moving up in a way that it really hasn't done all day. So do we involve ourselves with this one at this level? I'm going to say no. I'm going to absolutely say no. We're way too close to 5. I'm going to wait for my 480 retracement. I really like that flat top breakout. If this is really a flat top breakout, then it will come back in and test it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's the name of the game. So we'll keep tabs on that. So SATL really on a breakout here on the way to 5. Keeping an eye out on that. Alvin, mid-show is a vibe. Yeah, bro, we talk about everything on this place. Shout out to Big Spile. Sharif Joseph, I thought would catch you off guard. Dang it. We still love you, brother. But you are a little bit of a liability, my friend, and but we still like you around here. All right, what else we got? Dara's like, what's happening? Don't worry about it, Dara. We're having a good time, man. Ozan, Sharif, I have a question if I may. You didn't miss it, Ozan. Did I miss e-signal? No, man. We don't do it until we've confirmed you're in the chat. Once that is confirmed, then we go ahead and we proceed with the e-signal ad read. So, Ozan, you have not missed it. And Ozan, look, bro, you know, all these ad reads we've been doing for you, you got to do something for us.
Yeah, Ozan.
We need proof that you've got an e-signal membership. We're not going to do the ad read anymore, Ozan, while you're in the chat until we get proof that you are an e-signal member. Shout out to the great folks there.
Or are we going to pick him up from the airport?
He's going to pick. Yeah, Joseph's not going to pick you up. You can't stay at my place. So you're just setting up yourself for failure there, bro.
So.
Yeah, so that's a look. Let's go back into the position that we've got on right now, guys. AYTU. Again, that volume spike up and down has me bamboozled, but if I was to ignore that spike, I am pleased with the hold here at the volume weighted average price. In addition to that, I'm also pleased with the higher lows. Let's see if this one wants to start moving, though, because right now it kind of isn't. So we're in the money on it, but for how long? That's kind of my concern there. So we'll keep an eye out on this one, Joseph, and see if we can extract some profitability, possibly to the high side. 252 high a day.
Nice look there, guys. Yeah, looking for a short on Tesla. I do like this signal, but again, starting really, really small here. I'm long TSLS. And I like this 5-minute print. But if it cracks it to the top side and heads back to the high of yesterday's high, then we'll just get out. So it's at 345. We'll punch out of this trade. No worries about that, Sharif, as the market's continuing to climb. We also mentioned a high level of open interest at that 350 strike price. So we'll definitely keep that in mind. But yeah, looking like he wants to take another leg higher here, guys. So just Donald's over there just striking deals. So some of these big names are going to continue to climb, and I like seeing that. So, and that's the issue, right? For me personally, I can't chase it all the way up here. Yeah, so we'll have to see on that front. But yeah, let's go all iBits. I mean, Rigetti's not really doing too much. We don't want to put that. Palantir I thought would be significantly stronger, but when the stock's already put in all-time high, and the market hasn't quite caught up yet, then totally justifiable that you can pull back. But you can see this pullback is still healthy. Closing green, some indecision on it, low volume, retesting of this previous all-time high, and then now just holding around these 129 levels. So Palantir is an absolute monster as a stock. I know, guys, a lot of people are saying that Robinhood got smoked today. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we weren't too far. We were only about 1 or 2% off of that all-time high as well, too. But we were trading around $64, and now we pulled back to a low of around $57.76 and recovering nicely on the day. Now back up to the 60 level. I do believe, I like what Katina Man said as well. He's like, start buying some more of this name, and I agree. So yeah, we'll look to get involved into this. I'll add at the break of that all-time high because maybe we'll head into some new price discovery. And I don't know if it's blue skies there at that point yet, Sharif. What was that all-time? 84 is like 2 days after it IPO'd is what it traded up to, but then sold off drastically, and then was at a low of around $7, which is actually astonishing there. But yeah, big time recovery, and I think we can go back into those IPO levels. So I like Robinhood for the long run. I talked about its fundamentals for a long time, just the growth on the platform, the gold membership, etc. It's just a really good look for this name, Sharif.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah.
NVIDIA's taking out highs, guys, okay? NVIDIA's at the high of the day. It's up 0.66. I'm long right now, NVDL. We're long 65s. It just wet the beak there at 77, and now we're going to wait in the 80s, okay? So this one's up 1.3. It's essentially 2 times levered ETF of the actual name itself, NVDA. On NVDA, the high of the day currently is 136.28. We are at 136.22, so we're essentially at the high of the day. NVIDIA is a dang rocket ship today, and there's several reasons, well, for this entire week, several reasons for that, guys, in case you're just joining us. There's a lot of Arab money being thrown around here for some of these chips. Donald is in the Middle East, and he's striking a whole bunch of deals with different countries for advanced AI chips from NVIDIA. We did see Lisa Su in Saudi Arabia meeting with MBS as well as Donald, but I haven't heard much, if at all, about these GPUs, these advanced AI chips being bought from AMD. Have you? Did you hear anything?
No, I did not.
Adira, have you heard anything about Lisa Su striking any deals?
Oh, yes, I did.
actually have.
Yeah,
Okay, good. Let us know.
So this was back, I believe, on Tuesday. The stock spiked, and interestingly enough, AMD's stock is the only one that spiked intraday on this. But AMD did announce a $10 billion strategic partnership with Humane. We know Humane is the same group that NVIDIA had a bit of a deal with there as well. So that is the deal with AMD, pun not intended. They had that $10 billion strategic combination, or not strategic, partnership, sorry, with Humane AI, which is a new Saudi AI firm. And I'm closing the door.
Thank you, Adira, for that. Yeah, I did not know that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I referenced this the other day as well, too, after Adira did. So yeah, the $10 billion, and then I'm like, oh, okay, you get that, you strike that deal, and then you issue a $6 billion buyback the next day. So yeah, that is with Humane.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, hey, why not, right? So yeah, that's essentially what happened. So free cash flow also dropped more than 33% in the quarter ending March of. So ended March, so 727 million. AMD reported 0.5 billion in cash equivalents, 7.7 billion in current liabilities as of March 29. But we got to do is it eSignal or Profit X, guys? All right, Profit X. In sports playing, flexibility is everything at Profit X. You can see the order book just like a financial exchange. Pick your spots and customize the odds to fit your risk. Why settle for a single offered price when you can set your own? Plus, our mobile interface makes it easy to play on the go. Profit X, where you can call the shots anytime, anywhere. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back on up to $300. Yeah, don't bet the Leafs, guys. Let's win Profit X. So.
Yeah, that went south real quick, bro.
Yeah, hey, man.
Yeah, that went south real quick.
Right.
Yeah, I turned it on. I'm like, okay, so I put on for the initial part of the game, national anthem, this, that, analysis, that, and the other. Then I had to take care of some work stuff. I put it back on. 4-0. Then I have to go back to work, come back. 6. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and then they had the part. See, these guys make $14 million a year. Our top guys are all north of $10 million, and a guy who's a part-timer comes in and has to end the 120-minute goalless drought. So
that's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. It's laughable, man. I've been up on this. I've been talking about it. Sharif, you don't want me to go down this road now because it
bro,
can
go down whatever road you want, baby.
It starts from their entry level contracts.
Okay.
Anybody's a hockey guy. I'm gonna run over it quickly. Okay, so William Nylander, when he first came into the league, we burned 1 year of his rookie deal, his entry level contract, on bringing him in for 20 games. Okay, so he has 2 years left.
Okay.
The entry level contracts are 3 years. So now in year 2, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander, these guys look promising. So what happens? Our former general manager Kyle Dubas allows those entry level contracts to expire.
Oh.
And then we're gonna send it to Adara, and then we're gonna get into
Get it, Adara.
Keep an eye here on Coinbase. This thing just plummeted. SEC reportedly investigating whether Coinbase misstated its user numbers. This is reported by the New York Times. Now, why is this key? Why is this important? Well, we do have Coinbase set to be added to the S&P 500. So if they did, in fact, inflate their numbers, that's certainly not a good look for the company. New York Times reporting again, in case you missed it, that the SEC is looking into whether or not Coinbase misstated its user numbers. Also, really quickly, before we throw you guys back, in light of the NVIDIA and AMD conversation, I wanted to bring up this infographic once again. If you are not aware, Lisa Su, Dr. Lisa Su, CEO of AMD, and Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, are distant cousins, though they didn't realize that growing up. This infographic, which I've just reposted on X, compares the company's revenue growth. They were actually pretty similar until 2022 when NVIDIA just shot like a rocket to the upside in revenue. Check this out on X at TTV Research. And I will be keeping a lookout here for any news on this Coinbase story because that is quite the hit. Back to you.
Oh.
We're just talking to Neil here on the side about coin. Yeah, I know, Neil. I know, brother.
It happens, brother. I mean, don't forget your boy. Don't forget your boy sold Tesla at 234 big ones.
I want to come on for a second here.
If you want to make you feel any better.
No, just so you guys know, it's like my head was down because just yesterday I was talking about selling Coinbase for Robinhood, which I like a little bit better, and I just didn't pull the trigger. It's like, you know, when you want to think about something in your long term and you're processing the decision, and you know it's for the long term, so you don't want to think too hastily. And like, you've got to be kidding me! Like Coinbase with like double barrel slap you in the face news like the day after I don't sell. Anyways, that's just how it is. I think maybe watch Coinbase to come back into the volume weighted average price if it can bounce here. I mean, come on, man! Like this, it's going to be a hard one not to be looking short on Coinbase as strong as the market is this afternoon. But it happens, everybody. And as you can see, Coinbase at least bouncing off that 240 level. Yikes! That's not a good headline. Not even a little bit.
For a couple of dollars in the money here on this short, guys, on my friend Coin, but I'm going to flatten out if it pops back up. This is really not my my cup of tea. We're short 69s. That's not by design. So if it pops above 245, I'm going to get out. Looking for a move back down. I'm trying to get the short on the pop, but you know how these ones are. Here comes 245, so we likely will have to flatten out here. There it is. So we'll give back a little bit there. All good. So COIN down 7%, and here it comes again, Joseph. Maybe I took that out too quickly. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing you are there. I know you like the short. Bad news there for Coin. I'm using Coin L. I'm looking at Coin L here for a potential entry to the short side. Yeah, let's see if we can get a continuation of this big move here, guys. I'm going to pull it up here. Oh, oops, Coin L to see what we got going on. Wonder if I need some shorts to get involved in this name, but I'm still long TSLS there. It's starting to pull back towards the volume-weighted average price, but you can see just from a PA standpoint, the pullback is way less orderly than what we got going to the downside. So yeah, I mean, Neil, man, you've been in this game for a long time. That stuff definitely happens. It happens all the time. You can't win them all. All right, we got more coin news here, guys. We tap into VWAP. Then I'm going to look for the short here.
So basically what happened here is, I just want to read a little bit more details from the New York Times report. In case you missed it, COIN dropping, to put it mildly, after New York Times reported that the SEC is investigating if the company misrepresented its user numbers in past filings. And apparently, this is actually an old probe. It started under the Biden administration, which means it started at the very minimum as of November 2024. So it's like, I guess it's an older probe centering on this claim of 100 million plus verified users that Coinbase had in their IPO document. So this has to do with Coinbase's IPO. Apparently, they stated having over 100 million verified users, but they stopped using the metric in 2023. They also said they're cooperating with the investigation. So A, this sounds like it's been going on for a while. B, it sounds like Coinbase is aware. And C, it'll be interesting to see if this actually impacts their S&P 500 edition, and if so, how. I will continue to keep an update on this story. I will keep you guys posted, and back to you.
Yeah, very valid point, as Joseph was saying. Thank you for that, Adara.
Yeah, very much. So, Shreve, Shreve, I'm looking at the same thing here. We get any form of indecision. I do like this print for a potential short. Our risk profile is now defined, looking for a continuation for that move to the downside. How much lower can it go? A nice little bounce right here in coin. So, yeah, we got to be patient on this one. A rejection of VWAP is kind of the way to go for me. I am short for the individuals who are asking me in the chat. I am short Tesla via TSLS, so that's the inverse, but we are continuing to climb higher, and so is coin, gaining back some of that dump that we've seen, that volatility spike. So be cautious, guys. If you have any form of options contract to the long side, the volatility's in, or if you're looking to buy some, just wait for things to cool off, because you're going to be paying IV in those contracts. So just keep that in mind and take that into consideration. But I should fully believe that the market is continuously grinding. This is, okay, so we were talking about micro pullbacks, and this is essentially, these are micro pullbacks, Sharif. You're getting a breath here, micro. You're just getting a single breath in these names and continuing to climb higher and higher. So it is what it is. The bears are yeah, I mean, Ash, you got to be patient on that front. A lot of indecision. I wouldn't want to be going too heavy just yet. You want that thesis to start working before you decide to do so, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Well said, Joseph. Yeah. Well said. Yeah, this coin is kind of retracing to the high side here, so I'm going to leave that one alone. We're involved in AYT, though. I'm happy with this trade, guys. Looking for that next profit taker at 20s. We're long at 03s. We'll see what we get there. I've layered my orders above that $0.25. Here's 20 now on the ask. We're taking out some size, but we've been rejecting this level over and over, so not entirely sure if we get that easy fill through that 20 penny level. I'm talking about AYTU. It's up 62%. Give or take, you know, zigging and zagging right now. Rejecting off 20s again, so a little annoying there, and then it drops into 15. So I won't get too annoyed if we put higher lows, because if we keep rejecting off, you know, very similar or the same levels, but all the while we're putting in higher lows, well, then that usually means that we're going to take that level, whether it's a flat top break or whatever it is. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. I'm also involved, obviously, in NVDA and SATL. Let's check the NVDA trade. So let's see how, NVDL is what I've got. Break-even trade right now. We already got one beak wetter, but this is coming into the 10 EMA, and I'm keeping an eye on the futures as well as keeping an eye on NVDA, okay? And the reason I say that is because we're awfully close to 21,500. We got to 21,529. So if we get into these levels, that 100-point levels on the futures, and we don't clear them with gusto and continue, then I get a little concerned. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one. I want to see if we lose that 500-point area. We're still above the 10 EMA on both the NQ June contract and NVIDIA on the 5-minute chart for both. So I don't want to be too quick to make a decision on the state of the market or the state of NVIDIA's current price. I want to pack my patience there until we get a decided break of that 10 EMA. Then I'll let go of this trade. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Looking at it, AYTU as well. And let's have a look at our friend SATL. I put a tight stop below this because I'm only in SATL at these levels for a retracement into that 80 penny level. Again, I felt $4.80 on SATL was a flat top break. So if that's the case, it comes back in and tests it. You don't have to do anything, but usually you should be taking that level as a new area of support. We're going to Adara.
Keep an eye here on NVIDIA. Donald Trump apparently commenting here that he thinks their AI project with the UAE will, quote, be special, and that NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang was there. He also said the AI development will be purchased by U.S. companies. It's a massive project bought through the U.S. Looks like he's talking once again. I'm going to turn on that stream. Also, he said he's leaving tomorrow. He's leaving on Friday, but he said his destination is unknown, though he's probably going back to D.C. So maybe more trips for Donald Trump. Interesting comment there from him. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this, turning on that stream, see if there's any more comments from him. Back to you.
That Adara. What do you got over there, Joseph?
Yeah, I'm short coin too, Sharif. I'm looking to add a little bit more to this. I already doubled up the position, but I want this thing to cook to head back towards it. There we go, bang. We just caught that fill. So yeah, I got to monitor this one here, guys. Just putting on that share size to see if we can get that move towards the low of the day. Can we Deontay Wilder this here, guys, and just diamond hand this move back to these lows? I mean, this isn't a positive catalyst whatsoever. No. So I think it can be in the works. So we got to be patient on this. Momentum is the name of this trade, and I'm looking forward to come into play. So let's go. Let's get back towards that low of the day using this. I think CoinL is it 2 or 3x? Sharif, I'll pull it up here.
2.
Yeah, it's 2x.
I'm 99% sure, but I'll check it for you. I got it.
Double check.
You can focus. Yeah. It's 2.
Oh, let's go.
200%. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, I mean, we're starting to cook up here now, guys. Head back towards that low. This is exactly what we want to see. Yeah, so that's it. 24 in the works. That would be absolutely prime time. Going to be patient. Going to hold on to this. If we do decide to turn around, then that may not be the best signal. But yeah, let's see if that momentum can continue it to that downward. I mean, that you've seen the volume step in. So essentially just what the thesis is follow that volume, follow those large engulfing candles. And when you have volatility spikes like this, wait for those pullbacks and look to get involved via the pullback. And then maybe you can set yourself up on a half decent trade. 24 is going to be one of the primary targets and the low a day. Weakness on the tape is exactly what we want to see here, guys. So that's a positive sign right there. Going to be patient and let this trade cook up because we got the ingredients for it, brother.
Bang, I love it, man. Love hearing it. All right, I'm still just involved in those 2 trades right now as AYTU puts in yet another higher low. Okay, so I am kept optimistic about that higher low situation. Again, with that, let's say 2019, generally that area as a key area of resistance, at least intraday, not obviously a daily area of resistance because we've obviously been through it. We've gone as high, I believe, as 245. Here we go with 19s again. The only thing that I lament about, because I have way more shares than I typically do at all with this name, so I don't want to add. But I'm having a conversation with myself in my head here. But that shouldn't be a reason why not to add because this guy. Because if I'm observing higher lows and I'm of the bias that this is a flat top breakout, then I should be taking advantage of that and adding on those dips down, especially if they keep putting in higher lows, higher lows. So that's really the only thing where I think I should be doing a little bit better on this one. I think that I added substantially at a good level at that $2 level, which also happened to jive with VWAP. However, I am not executing properly, in my opinion, by not adding on the higher low. So that's kind of like my only criticism here to myself about this one. But we'll see if we can get that print above 20. Now let's see if it's a big boy print. Like, does it zoom up and take out a whole bunch of levels? Because I got a whole bunch of orders waiting there in the low to mid 20s. So if that 20 penny area breaks, well, maybe we can just fill all those prints at the same time. Absolutely, of course we can. Assassino, and you look like you have got a banger on this. Should I hit it? Are we in it?
No, the dollar.
Are we in the club?
No, I'm using CoinL, brother. So I guess from a coin standpoint, absolutely. But CoinL, not just yet, my friend.
All right, no worries there. Just having a look at, there it is. I gotcha. All right, Assassino, are we ready? Okay. New traders, Ozan, listen up. First time. It's free. That's right. We're waiving the fees so you can trade smarter, not harder, by upgrading to that elite experience where you can analyze and strategize. And then after that, you'll capitalize on their platform that has everything. It's got infinite data, instant trading, and lightning fast market insights. And some call their charts game-changing, Joseph. Predict better with the back testing tool that they've got. You get reliable, real-time data, global markets at your fingertips. It's an all-in-one platform, baby, so do not miss out. Execute your best trades now, ready, and only if you're ready to elevate your trading. Scan that QR code or check the link in the description. Joseph Wilson.
Yeah. Let's cover this, guys. I got out of this trade. It came back to the break even. This squeezed me out, to be honest with you. So I just had to get out. But you guys can see it firsthand. I was super aggressive right here. But now heading back towards these lows. Wow. Yeah, that's the thing about trading some of these leverage products. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have been. I should have just Deontay Wilder and held it for 24. But yeah, I got really aggressive on that front on this one there, guys. So So yeah, that's the thing here. Yeah, wow, Sharif, we had a really good trade on it. I can't complain. I mean, I just took a massive chunk out of my daily losses. Full disclosure, I'm still red. And when I was just kind of just churning shares, looking for this reversion trade, this just wiped out all of those paper cuts and then some. But yeah, I gave up a lot of unrealized on this. I took off exactly 50% through these couple partials here, and then I got stopped out my additional 50%, looking for that move back towards the low of the day. I think there's going to be another opportunity to get involved in this. This could be another breath, a test of just a specific range, and then you can hop back into the shorts, because I think this is a really big opportunity to do so. So if we retest this right here, hold it, then I'm going to hop right back in to see what we can get going on that. Pizza Rat, it is what it is, but IBIT always pays. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely, I agree with you on that one. We love IBIT. There's no questioning that. It's been put in an absolute monster day. Now back at 59.15s trading, so we like that. And NVDA's trading well, so we can't be mad, guys. We're in some good, solid positions. I mean, it's been a decent week for me, so I won't complain either on that front, Sharif. So again, one red day. Not much. Oh, I finished Monday red, but it was like literally a couple Timmy's coffees on that front. I climbed back actually too.
No, you did.
Yeah. And then today we climbed back as well too. So cut all my losses in half on the session, and I probably would have had a significantly better day if we held on to Tesla. But that shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? We don't want to go down that path. Okay, I'm gonna get involved in coin one more time here, Sharif. On this pullback.
I'm liking it.
Okay, it rejected me. That's a good rejection. I'll take that one here. But I do believe that we're going to continue this trend. We have to wait for those indecision prints in order for us to tell us to do so. And then if we head back towards that low of the day, we're going to be getting involved on that, Sharif. And maybe if we breach that, but this was a big time spike. This is like an earnings report candle right there, Sharif, on coin. So yeah. Not too pretty for that name. And I'm still long TSLS, which is essentially synthetically short Tesla, guys.
Yeah, good call. I'm just going to do a little TA here on the BTC chart. I just want to remove all these unnecessary.
You like it too, eh? The BTC.
Yeah. I hate how IB throws in these different indicators when you have a crypto or Forex chart. It's like, don't make the decisions for me.
Yeah. Why
I like my charts the way I like them. You don't tell me just because it's not an equity or an ETF that
you have to
I don't understand why they do that.
Don't tell
Somebody's got to let them know,
us
man.
any of that stuff.
So, Joseph, here's what I see on your friend BTC. I see a bunch of higher lows here.
Yeah.
And we're not necessarily getting any higher highs. And to be fair, we haven't gotten even close to that double top yet. That double top, we got to weasel into about 108, 109, right? We haven't been above 105 for, did we get to 106? What was this?
I think
this is 106.1.
Yeah,
so we got to 106.1. That's not what really interests me, Joseph. What interests me is the higher levels that people are picking it up, higher low levels that people are picking it up on every little move down. And we haven't touched 100,000 since May 8th. What's today? 14? 15?
Okay.
The last time we touched that,
come back and touch it. Yeah, pulled back and touch it. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So I'm liking our chances here to actually break this out.
Yeah.
Whether or not we get anywhere near.
Dude, my thesis essentially was see this downtrend.
This area
this
here.
downtrend here.
Yep.
Once it cracked, I'm like, oh, okay. We have so many things lining up
Talking
for
about
us.
that trend line.
Yeah, that trend, that downtrend right there.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as that cracked, I'm like, I like our chances here. One, we were consolidating for an extended period of time there, and we've been in a pullback for an extended period of time, a couple months as well too. So when we sat on top of it and broke through this key resistance level right there, I'm like, oh, okay, this is the move for all-time highs for sure.
I agree. I happen to agree with that. Yeah, it's just, how long we consolidate. Because, these flat top breaks, these higher low flat top breaks, they can go on for a week, they can go on for a couple.
But this is what we want to see, Sharif. You can see that we've had multiple stair-step patterns. It's like big move up, consolidation, big move up, consolidation. And we're seeing that displayed right now. So this is what we want. In order for us, and this is just my opinion, guys, in order for us to punch through these all-time highs, we want to have that momentum where we don't reject it immediately. So we want to consolidate, accumulate what we need, and then boom, distribute as we continue to climb. And I think, hey, Michael Saylor keeps buying this stuff up, you're going to be paying the price that he wants you to pay for this stuff.
And here's the deal.
It's obviously a hot take.
What's that?
It's obviously a hot take. He's
Yeah,
not
well, there it is.
But he owns a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh God, yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm liking this. How high we get, how aggressive we move up, and how long we stay in that consolidated phase with these higher lows. Your guess is as good as mine. So, well, we'll keep an eye on this. But I'm kept optimistic with the fact that people are buying this at incrementally higher levels every single time. Do you think we need a catalyst to break, to punch through that level, or can we get there organically without that? Do we need a Donald to say, all right, we're throwing more money into
the
that?
current all-time highs, right? No, I don't think we need a catalyst.
Okay.
To be honest with you, and if we want to continue to climb, I don't think we need, obviously, catalyst will obviously benefit it through, obviously, it could bring it to heights that we could never even imagine. But for this specific move, no, I don't think we need a catalyst.
Hot take, baby. I love it. I love hearing it, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. There was a small cap gapper that I kept my eye on basically all day, and it maintained its status there on the side chart because it was hanging out or close to VWAP. GRYP is the one that I'm talking about. It just pooped the bed, and now, it's lost its dollar level status. So this one is really giving it up here, giving up the ghost, $1.38 high, consolidates at VWAP for a prolonged period of time, and then that flat bottom break through that 108 comes in fast and furious, and now we're sub $1, giving up a lot of the gains here, still up 30% on the day, but really breaking down. So SATL continues to hang out at that 80 penny level, and the reason I'm not getting out here is because I personally see support at 80. We have this area high that we rejected off, dropped all the way down to the $0.50 at VWAP. That's where I got involved, and we made that high into 494. And now we're back testing that 80 penny level. That was my thesis, that we would look to test that flat top break at 80 pennies. Alas, I'm 4 pennies out of the money and not taking any prints. So we'll pack our patience for that one. Anything below 75 pennies stops me out. Here we go with AYTU again. And again, it gets into 20. And again, I don't get filled. So that seller, that short seller, that profit taker, that market maker waiting at $2.20. How long are you going to be there for, brother? We're putting in higher lows here, and we're really screaming flat top break. So get out while you can now, Mr. Short Seller over here, because you just got taken out, baby.
Dang.
It got taken out there, Joseph Wilson. All right, so let's see if we can get some more prints, or this one's going to zig and zag. Typical, true to form, Joseph. It zigs through the level. It doesn't fill me, and right back down in 19s. Is there profit taking here? That's the thing. Right? A lot of people, if I'm seeing that 220 break, a lot of people are seeing it right back above 220. Still not filling 223 though. Let's sweat the beak here. What the hell?
Yeah, do it, man.
Yeah, do it, man. All right, guys, we're waiting for these prints. That's what I'm waiting for. All these bad boys here to get taken. Show them what you're looking at, Joseph.
Yeah, pull up the old coin chart here. I waited for that rejection of the volume weighted average price. I'm not as heavy as my initial position, but we're nice. We doubled up our initial one. Thesis starting to work out. Let's go for this pivot low here, guys, right around 24.60. Let's go, just chipping away.
Chip away.
What's a famous scalp? What are you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Someone who scalps statues. Give me
a sculptor.
Sculptor, yeah. What the famous one? Give me a famous one.
I don't know, Joseph.
All right, never mind.
I don't know. Adara, help us out. Michelangelo says assassino.
I'm not going to go that far. I call myself Michelangelo, but yeah, we're just chipping away here, guys, at these losses on the day. We had a nice move here. Let's go to Adara, guys.
Get it, Adara.
Is keep an eye here on Coin. We have an update from the company's chief legal officer. In case you missed it, Coinbase took quite a tumble when New York Times reported that the SEC is looking into whether or not the company misstated its user numbers. This would be, though, back when it did its IPO. It's in 2021. That was basically numbers associated with this IPO filing. Now, why this is an issue now is, of course, because of they're set to join the S&P 500. So if these numbers are incorrect, that could be a big deal. Now the company's chief legal officer coming out and saying that the SEC investigation is a holdout or a holdover from prior administration about a metric we stopped reporting 2.5 years ago. So they're trying to minimize this here entirely. They're just basically saying that this is an old investigation, which was true in the report as well, and it's about a metric we don't use anymore. So Coinbase trying to dismiss this report. Either way, the stock certainly down in the day, and the hack from this morning didn't help either. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. And thank you, Mr. Short Seller on AYTU. You kept us down. You can't keep us down.
Can't.
You can't. Because we saw where you were, brother. You showed your hand. The higher lows were the operative thing. We just took out all the fills up into 230. Now I'm posting at 233. I got filled all the way up into 231 on AYTU. We're long 01s. I had substantially more shares than I ever take on the show. I got to be very honest with you guys, though. I'm negative on the day, and I'm close to getting shut down because that piece of crap, ASST, and my trade on coin, right?
He's a garbage.
So we will, that's where we were. Right? So we're trying to work at it. I'm not going to let that faze me. We're going to continue to work. That's what it is.
No, because when we get knocked down, Sharif, we get right back up.
I'm just saying.
Both of us almost shut down on the day. Both of us almost shut down on the day.
All right, so that's what we're doing right now. We're going to keep an eye out on this one. I'm looking for a real curl here. And by real curl, I'm talking about taking out those previous area highs. Now, 252 is that previous area, or that's the high of the day, excuse me. Whether or not we get to that while we're still on the show, there's 12 minutes left here. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm happy that I got substantially most of the position out. I'm still holding decent share size over here. So let's just wet the beak here. What the hell? And then we'll just post at some of these levels over here in the mid-20s in case this one does lose the bid. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now on AYTU. Let's see if this one ends up paying. All right, how's my other trade doing? SATL. All right, we're back into 85s. We've got 84s on, so there's nothing to write home about there. We're going to keep an eye out on this one, looking for a bigger move up. Is there any other small cap gapper making notable moves? Possibly. Shout out to Trixie Hobbitry. I like that. Traded AYT with you, Trey. Great trade. Thank you. No, thank you, brother, for watching, obviously, and thank you for the compliment there. And I hope you print up multiple storms. And it's nice to have a fellow small cap gapper trader weasel onto the scene like that. So, guys, KDLY. This one, I don't know what the hell was going on here at $12 with KDLY. You guys were telling me about this one, but look at that. You could not shake that seller at $12 for the life of you. And that should have been, you should have been alive to that fact, because when we got to 12 over here, despite the fact that we got to 12.49, look at those closing prints on the 5, guys. They're all south of 12. So somebody was aggressively profit-taking or shorting at that 12-ish area, okay? And then here, because the volume wasn't what it was over here, they kept you down. They couldn't keep you down over here, so you're able to scalp up into the $0.50, but they obviously got short again or started taking profits again. So for whatever reason, guys, KDLY has a monster seller at $12. I just won't be convinced any different, Joseph. We'll see how this one ends up trading. I haven't had anything on it. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm still sitting in this coin, man. I think this thing is going to squeeze, and we don't want that. So I'm not going to hold on to this and just dig away what I've gained from it. So if it decides that it wants to act like this, then I'll just hop out of the trade. Nothing, no sweat about that one. But I was looking for the continuation of this weakness. See what I got to note here, guys, is that on this initial pullback right here, the fact that we didn't even go and test those lows, we just rebounded and then came right back up to these highs, rejected VWAP. There might be some strength in this name. Again, we just dumped relatively weak. We're down. So this is 2x. So we're down about 5.5 to 6% here on the day with coin. So a rebound may be almost inevitable. But I would like to see this potentially turn around and head back towards these lows. And that's the game plan here, right? But if it wants to squeeze, we don't want to be in that whatsoever. But here's TSLS. I've been sitting in this one as well too. Small size just to start. Looking for the continuation to the downside. But this market is really strong, guys. So this is holding up coin. If the market decided to tank, I believe that coin would most definitely start participating aggressively on that front. But it's holding up relatively strong. So again, if we crack this high, got to get out of this trade. It will cut a lot of these gains in half, but that's fine. To make money, you got to risk money. So yeah, that's the game. I told you I was almost shut down as well to cut that in half. So AC Slater to that one. Let's go.
That's what we need. I think we might need one of the, at least a Saved by the Bell animation.
Yeah, AC Slater.
I second that. I want a Saved by the Bell animation. I'm down. We can have Zach Morris looking mischievous. I don't know.
Adara, don't go anywhere. You're so quick,
I'm back.
bro. Adara, I know you have an eidetic memory, and we all know that about you. Question is, though, do you know the lyrics to the introduction of Saved by the Bell?
I do not know. I've never seen the intro. I mostly know Saved by the Bell through this amazing YouTube series done by Funny or Die called Zach Morris's Trash, where they go through episodes and they just talk about all of the insane antics that Zach Morris does. If I'm being honest with you, Sharif, that's how I've watched the show.
Fair. There's also a movie about the making of there's like a made-for-TV movie, Adara, she's seen it, about all the interactions between Saved by the Bell. Like, they were dating each other, and then there was beef between them.
Oh,
so,
in
like,
real life.
Mark Paul Gosselaar was actually dating, what's her name, Lisa Turtle. What's Lisa Turtle's name in real life? Lark Voorhees or something like that. Thank you, yeah. They were actually dating in real life, but I think Tiffany Amber Thiessen, that's my childhood crush, baby. Oh,
Tiffany?
Yeah, they were dating as well, but Lark, anyway, there was a whole bunch of beef, and it shows you like the behind the scenes look, and then that Screech guy, may he rest in peace, Samuel Powers or whatever his real name is, like he got smashed at one publicity event one time,
really?
got drunk as you know what, acted a fool when there were kids and stuff.
Oh, no.
Said Dustin Diamond, thank you, Adara.
I like his name.
Yeah, Dustin Diamond, yeah. So, there was a whole bunch of stuff that happened behind the scenes, but there's also one for 90210, Beverly Hills 90210, like the making of it, like and how it happened behind the scenes, how Shannon Doherty like had to have like the first room. Okay, so order of priority is like how your office, not office, but you know what I mean, like your little room there.
Yeah.
So it's like apparently in show business, and I have no idea if this is true or not, but this is what they were saying in the movie. Like depending on where your name is on the script. Like, that's how important you are. So if your name is first.
Yeah, you're top,
and so
you're top dog. She was
She
first?
wanted her name first, and like that ended up becoming a thing.
Do you know what place she was in there?
I think she insisted on being first.
Oh, but you didn't know it.
Yeah, what the hell is that flat top break that's about to happen there? Look at that
coin?
CONL.
Yeah, I know.
Higher,
man.
low, higher, low, higher, low. What does that keep projecting? 2540.
Yeah.
That seems like a flat top break waiting to happen there, Joseph.
Thing. You think the flat top there? I'm thinking the continuation to the downside.
Show him what I mean.
Yeah. So this is what this is what Sharif's referring to right here. Is just the breaking of this. I mean, he might be right, but there we go. We take another leg down there, guys. I'm gonna get back right in on this and just use that as my stop. If I end up back exactly where I was, oh no, I wasn't ready.
Joseph, let me cover one here because it's breaking out.
Wow.
All right, guys, I see you. Shout out to Bovin. Bovin, I put this already on there. I meant to cover it, but, Saved by the Bell talk. Come on. WLDS, really going here, guys. 41.5%. Small cap gapper, $2.18 above the 10 at EMA, above the volume weighted average price. Wicks into 231. Candle of indecision manifests at 150. And now we're kind of ensconced there by the high and the low.
Wow, that's the second time I've done that today, and I never do that. Yeah, that's the second time I've and again, I had this talk with Hal R. That's the second time today with Tesla and now CoinNow that I've exited a trade prematurely. I mean, obviously it's working now in my favor, and you can look back and be like, oh, well, yeah, everything in hindsight is obviously 20/20. But I mean, yeah, that's the second time today. Usually don't make those mistakes, but maybe I don't want to chase it, but I'm really tempted to do so because I'm looking for that low of the day. But yeah, we missed out on that opportunity.
Yeah, respect that, man.
Yeah.
So WLDS, guys, this one's really going. Be careful with this one. I'm going to give you the information on it. Obviously, it's a small cap gapper, $2.2 million market cap. My platform's telling me 14.5 million share float. I'm just going to double check that with Trade Ideas. WLDS. Trade Idea saying south of 1 million. Okay, so this is crazy here. You guys need to hear this. So this is one of those ones where we have over 100% short. So that means there are naked shorts on WLDS. WLDS has 110% short float. To give you the exact number, it's 109.3. Now, I can't verify that accuracy. It could be up to 2 weeks old. We know that the short interest is updated every 14 days. It could be less than that now that we've popped up 40%. A lot of short sellers could have been squeezed out. Make of this what you will. I'm seeing here on Trade Ideas, 888,000 share float with 109.03% of the float is being borrowed short. If you're wondering how that's possible, there is something called naked shorting. We're not going to go into a lesson on that, but needless to say, it's obviously volatile. It's a lot closer to the high of the day, so trade this carefully right now, but this could be a big boy breakout trade. I'm talking about WLDS. Let's go ahead and load that up on a trading screen so we can get an idea of what the level 2 is. So it's a decent spread here, 1 penny, and there's a good amount of volume coming in. The volume just started coming in, guys. The volume bars just started showing up, let's say 12:30. So it's obviously over an hour deep right now in terms of the breakout, but it's not a pre-market mover. It's not a 9:30. It's a midday mover over here. So keep your eye out on this. Here we go. We're getting close to that high of the day. We're about to take out 31s. It's showing 30s right now on the ask. This current candle has a higher low, and now it has a higher high, Joseph. This one is really going 237 high a day. The breakout is on right now on WLDS. Likely to see the $0.50. Nice. Beautiful look right there. Keep your eye out on this one. Rich Buddy. If you naked short, you might end up streaking at the next game. It could be a good or bad thing. You get the money drop, my man. I like that. Adair gave you the old boy comment at the big boy desk, or in her case, the big girl desk. So shout out to her. We're keeping an eye out on all these guys. WLDS, midday mover here, taking out highs. Fantastic look, Joseph Wolf.
Yeah, Carl Gruen. I don't know if Tesla's going red today. I don't know how much from a percentage metric it's up. But yeah, I'm still sitting in this coin L short here, guys, going for that low a day. So if we can get that to work, that's going to be real. We're going to be up bigly on that front. So yeah, going to be patient. That's a point move from now. If it does crack these key support levels, I'm going to add and get it even more aggressive on this, because one thing that I'm doing is, I mentioned earlier before, is I'm just trying to follow the volume, right? It may take a little bit more time than what we expected, but we may break down, and I'm going to look to take advantage of that. So that's the name of the game. I'm just a tiger on the prowl right now, waiting for this thing to either break down or it's going to go against me. So going to be cautious on that.
Prowl up, baby.
Prowl up, baby. That's what we're trying to do.
It is.
So yeah, you're just trying to hunt the prey to see. Whoa, no way. Is that I thought that was a legitimate print there. That was scary. That dark pool wind. Wake. I'm like, no way. That's an actual print. That would have been not good whatsoever. But yeah, slowly starting to curl over. Let's see if that can be sustained. I thought we'd have some more continuation relatively quicker than this here, especially off of that news. But as Sharif mentioned, you can see multiple flat top tests right here, rejection of them, and now heading back towards this key support level that we're seeing right at 246.15. So what do you got? Were you printing over there too? You got something going on?
No, the Katina man is getting lit up. He just sat back on the desk. The Katina man had a huge position on Apple. It got stopped out and then it ended up going in the direction, something we all suffer from all the time.
I've done it twice. I've done it twice today. So, yeah, I usually don't do that, but that is what it is, guys. I mean, it's 2 o'clock now, so.
It's two. Oh, so we paid
we
them
owe them
back
2 minutes. Yeah, we paid them. All right.
We did owe them some money.
Okay, so we're in debt. Do we want to get out of debt and go to 203 and then issue more debt?
Why did they did 3 minutes?
They did 2.
They did 2.
But see, that's what I'm that type of guy. I credit the creditor. All right, that's the type of individual that I am.
Hold on. I want to announce something. That on the Katina man social media, there's been a return
of a baseball bat.
No. Of the walk and talk, my boy.
The walk and talk. He's brought
Katina man just dropped the walk and talk. So if you follow Sean on Instagram, head on over, listen to the walk and talk. It's one of my favorite things. You know, I already told you about that multiple times.
I want to hear what it says. Play it live.
I'm not at liberty to do that, Joseph. Okay. It's not my social media, obviously. Okay. So the Katina man is going to have to do that if he'd like. But I personally love when he does these. I think he spits real stuff. And so if you're into that kind of thing, head on over, check it out. We just took out another little print there on my friend AYTU, as this one did break above 30. So I've layered the orders there. I've kept my stop in place. I'm going to weasel on over to the green screen in the hopes that all these ones print, because we are curling up on AYTU. It's a hard stair step up, but they're printing nonetheless. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one, Joseph. Send them off.
Yeah. Let's go the shorts here, guys. I'm hyper-focused right now, aiming for these key pivots. Let's break through some of these key levels and continue to move to the downside there in Coin L.
Peace.
Don't go too far to the downside, Coinbase. Come on, man. So
7%.
You were
Okay.
Coinbase, apparently an old investigation.
Okay.
Into whether they misstated
Let's go
their
Google
user
these
base
things.
on their IPO. So
Okay.
much to my chagrin, because I never actually sold Coinbase shares, Coinbase dropped $13 on that move and then bounced and is now down